Hey guys, welcome to an unscheduled and entirely unnecessary version of Ranting Monkey Live. I got some requests to do this because the Kavanaugh vote is going on. Now, should be noted, this is not the actual Kavanaugh vote. This is just the committee vote to move him. Hey guys, it's nice to see you in chat there. This is just the committee vote to push him on to the full Senate. As expected, Mr. Blumenthal, Senator Blumenthal, right now is asking that Mark Judge be brought before the committee subpoenaed to testify because apparently his statement is not enough, where he said this didn't happen. They need to bring him before them to say this didn't happen and then ask him about his alcoholism because that's what they were so concerned with yesterday. Hashtag we drank beer. What's going to happen here is good morning, Hammer. Good morning, everybody. Grassley's going to listen to this request from Blumenthal and turn it down, and then they're going to vote, and they're going to push it on to the full Senate because this is a committee that's run by Republicans. So I don't think they would have brought up the vote if they were going to have a problem getting the vote through. That would have looked bad for them. So I doubt this is going to be anything important. But we can't talk about the case itself because the case itself is fucking retarded. Thank you, Point Curation. I expect the whole rigmarole to be the new norm. Well, I really hoped with some of the testimony, or well, not testimony, some of the statements from Republicans yesterday, that this would be the moment, that this would be the McCarthy moment. Senator, have you no shame? I mean, that was even brought up, and still all we get is we have to believe women because they have vaginas. If you have a vagina, you are beyond reproach. Nobody can question anything you say, because women don't lie. And if you have any questions about whether or not women lie, you can go ask Tawana Brawley, because yeah, fuck it. Now I don't know if this woman's lying. I don't. She may believe that this happened. She may honestly believe that Mark Judge stood there and laughed and said no and encouraged Brett Kavanaugh to rape her, which is fucking stupid. Monkey, have you seen Instagram? They're calling his accuser a hero and a hero. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't go to Instagram very often, but I'm not shocked. I mean, they were passing around the picture of her standing up there, getting ready to be sworn in with her eyes closed, looking all angelic. Oh, here's the vote. This is the vote on. That was the vote on whether or not they should call Mark Judge before the committee, and it was no. It was 11-10 as expected. Drunken Uncle touched you in a bad spot, William. Unfortunately, he's in England, so I don't think that that'll cause anything. Now, if he'd said something bad about Muslims, you might have a case against him. Maybe it wasn't Kavanaugh who did what she experienced. That is a possibility. Our minds, the human mind, can insert things into our memory. I was reading this morning an article about this, about somebody who did clinical research on this, where they implanted memories in people. They did it on purpose, and it was weird because they said they did it under ethical controls. Oh, is this the actual vote going on right now? Looks like Eric Hammer, thank you. I was disgusted with the Democrats yesterday. However, after watching the interview of Kavanaugh, I think he has a vote of a couple of the committee Democrats once it reaches the Senate floor. I don't think he does. I think it's going to be strictly along party lines. It may even come to a 50-50 vote with Mike Pence having to break the. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Having to break the tie. because there is a Republican who's in a tight race, and the Republicans don't want to give up the Senate. So we'll see what happens. I don't remember in recent years many political shit shows quite this shit showy. Here's something you have to understand. This is more than just about a sexual assault allegation. The Brett Kavanaugh was part of the investigation into Bill Clinton. So not only is this a Trump nominee, this is a Trump nominee who was part of the investigation against the woman he beat. He looked into the life of Bill Clinton. He's part of the reason Bill Clinton got disbarred and got impeached. Remember, guys, he was impeached. He was not removed from office. Those are two different things. But yeah, Trump had the balls to nominate somebody who was part of that investigation. This is as much about revenge as it is about just pure politics. So, I don't even care what they're saying now because this is going to pass. They're going to pass this with no. He was part of the investigation into Vince Foster. He was it all started with the Rose Law Firm, and it ended with Monica Lewinsky. So yeah. There was an article written in Forbes that Dr. Forbes should be the new justice. That's fucking stupid. I just saw, God, what is her name? Hirono from Hawaii talking about how she doesn't mind a conservative justice. She just has a problem with conservative justices who disagree with her. This really is revenge for the election year, Merrick Garland bullshit. No, see, I saw a lot of people talking on Twitter about Merrick Garland yesterday. This has nothing to do with Merrick Garland. Nothing to fucking do with Merrick Garland. The only reason Merrick Garland got brought up is because Lindsey Graham is on video talking about why he didn't think it was necessary to vote on Garland. The whole charge here is because of Monica Lewinsky. Don't think for a second it's not. This is political payback because he was part of that investigation. Plus, he had the balls to stand up. Kavanaugh had the balls to stand up and go, I didn't do this. And what we know now in the hashtag Me Too era is that you don't do that. If a woman accuses you, you immediately admit you did wrong and you go away. You do what Louis C.K. did. He never sexually assaulted anybody. He got consent from anyone he pulled his dick out to, but he was accused, so he had to go away. On another great note, Michael Avenatti, the lawyer for I forget her first name, but her last name is Swetnick. She's the woman who claimed that Brett Kavanaugh was the leader of a rape gang with his buddy Mark Judge. He's going to come out with his story because the committee won't have him or his client in front of them. Amy says, I think he's guilty. What do you base that on? I've asked this. I asked this on Twitter, and I asked it twice. And I even asked it to Sam Harris because Sam Harris is quite clearly in her court. What corroborating evidence is there for her story? What corroborating evidence is there? Because I can't find any. The closest that there is her say-so and her vagina. But anyway, back to Avenatti says that he's going to come out with a full story with his client, which apparently wasn't in the sworn statement. Frankly, that should have been in there because otherwise that's a lie. Eric Hammer, thank you. Also, 2 men came out during the investigation suggesting that they may have been the one that had the encounter with Ford. I have seen that. I saw it. What is it called? Wired something had that 2 days ago, and then National Review had it, I think, yesterday, and Fox News did a thing on it. The Senate doesn't seem to be taking it seriously, so we'll see. Because it is entirely possible that somebody else did this, and she has just inserted him as the memory. Fucking Moo, how you doing, Tail? Nice to see you, buddy. And he tried to cry, says Amy. He didn't try to cry. That was genuine. He really is he's really suspect. Really suspect. Why? Because okay. We'll have to disagree on that. I found him to be far more genuine than her. The only time I found her to be genuine was when her voice broke when she was asked, "Is this partisan?" And if you watch that part, she's like, "No." And it was the only time I found her to be credible. It was great when she was giving her opening testimony, and she's breaking up, but there's not a single fucking tear the whole time. Not a single fucking tear. But she was, and then he had his hand over, and I thought he was going to kill me. Yeah, kiss my ass. Taylor says I haven't been following any of this. I don't blame you, man. You're way over there in Scotland, and this is U.S. politics. We don't follow what you guys do very closely either. The last time we really cared was the royal wedding, and even then we didn't care. We just like watching rich people get married because we're weird. I am waiting. I'm waiting with bated breath for Avenatti's new evidence because I really want to see it, and I really want to know if his client has been paid anything. It's funny because the whole FFF thing came up yesterday at the hearing, and Avenatti is the one who put it out there that means find them, fuck them, finger them, forget them, whatever. And what's his name? Kavanaugh. He's like, no, that's just how a friend used to say fuck without actually saying it. Sinatra says is streaming the committee. Yeah, and I actually when somebody asked me to stream this, I was like, but Sinatra's doing it, and then I was like, hey, well, we're two different people. You can watch both of them. You can watch one and then the other. Either way is great. I love Sinatra. He's a friend of mine, so I'm not trying to steal any of his audience. This was done for my audience because I was asked to. Press FFFFF to pay respects. Yes. Remember, it's exactly 7 Fs. Excuse me. Diane Feinstein right now is talking about how the Republicans refuse to talk to the other accusers. Let's talk about those other accusers for a second. The one is Deborah, I forget her last name because I don't really fucking care about her. But she claimed that at a party, somebody pulled out a dildo, and then Kavanaugh stuck his dick in her face, and she had no choice but to push him away by the penis. And that really bothered her because she wasn't going to touch a penis until marriage. Man. Even if that one's true, I don't consider that really to be sexual assault. Dumbass drunk college kids doing dumbass drunk college things. And if you needed to push him away, he has hips. Unless his dick is really, really big. Why didn't she kick him in the balls? That's another one. She could have just smacked him right in the nuts. Anything you fuck off. And then she says that somebody yelled down the hallway, Brett Kavanaugh just stuck his dick in Debbie's face, and said that they actually used his whole name. I don't find her story to be credible, especially considering once it got out, once it went into, I think it was the New Yorker by Ronan Farrow. Her and her lawyer both went media silent completely. They will not talk to anybody anymore. And then we have Avenatti and Sweatnik, and his fuck off, dude. Her story is that she started going to parties, and she went to at least 10 of them, where she saw women being drugged, supplied with alcohol and drugged, put into women or into rooms, put into women. That would have been fun. Put into rooms, and then guys ran rape trains on them. Eagle, thank you so much. Thank God you're here. I do my best. But what bothers me about her story is that she says she went to at least 10 of these parties and then she became a victim of being raped. A lot of people keep making it sound like she was raped and then went to the parties. From reading her statement, that's not what I read. I read that she went to these parties and then it happened to her. But she says she saw Brett Kavanaugh and Mark Judge waiting in line in these rape these rape trains. And I just don't understand why a woman who is college age, by the way, college age, would keep going back to these parties, to high school parties where she knows people are being raped over and over and over and over again. It makes no goddamn sense. Are people that stupid? Maybe. But I don't believe your story. I'm sorry, Sletnick. Why would you keep going back? You were an adult. Why wouldn't you call the fucking police? Why wouldn't you say, excuse me, I know 9 women have been raped. You might want to come do something about this. Now, there's some people who talk about, well, the underage drinking. Maybe there was underage drinking at these parties. If it was in their senior year, Mark Judge and Brett Kavanaugh's senior year, it wasn't necessarily underage drinking, because they would have been, at least for part of that year, they would have been 18, and the legal age of drinking was 18 at the time. A lot of people forget that the legal age of drinking used to be 18 across most of the country. They changed it because reasons. Lindsey Graham is giving a press conference as Dianne Feinstein is talking. I don't know why. But anyway, I don't understand why you would keep going back to parties where you think women are being raped if you're a woman. Unless maybe you were waiting, you were wanting your turn. That's not a nice thing to say, is it? But I just don't get it. I don't get why anybody would find that to be a credible argument. I really do want to know if Michael Avenatti paid her for her story, because we did have the 4chan thing that went away really quickly. The 4chan hoax, because he came out and named her and gave her picture the next day. That doesn't mean he wasn't still fucked up with some of what he said. In her sworn statement, she doesn't say anything about the find them, fuck them, whatever 7 F's thing. Although he had in a letter to Grassley's assistant, he definitely put that in there and said that he should be asked about that, which, by the way, he was. And there was a great part where they went through the yearbook and like, hey, what does all this stuff mean? Because Devil's Triangle. And I'd never heard Devil's Triangle as a sexual thing before. I'd heard of a Devil's Threesome. That's 2 guys and a girl, but I'd never heard of a Devil's Triangle. And he explained it. It's a game like quarters. Okay. And then I forget the other one. He goes, that's flatulence. And it was just funny to watch that, because he handled that part very well, I think. And then the 7 F's came up, and he's like, that's how a friend used to say fuck, except he didn't actually say fuck. I gotta give it up to him and Lindsey Graham. I don't know how they didn't swear yesterday. I don't know how they didn't go, you guys are fucking assholes. Lindsey Graham's, for the outburst he had, his control, his ability not to say fuck was amazing. I got to give him credit for that. And again, I have said I think Lindsey Graham's an idiot. I do think Lindsey Graham's an idiot. I think he was right here. Did you write about farts in your calendar? It is funny that they didn't ask him that. Captain Assassin says Devil's Tricycle is 2 guys. I've never heard it called Devil's Tricycle, but I mean, regional dialect, I suppose. But he gave a good. There's no reason not to believe that the Devil's Triangle thing wasn't a drinking game they used to do. Nancy Muncie says, "Oh my God, I was swearing for them." I know, man. Lindsay, when Lindsay, oh, they're still preparing to vote. Well, just fucking vote. God damn, it takes so long to get stuff done in Congress. But I just I thought he gave a pretty credible testimony. The only time I thought that there was problems was when they asked him, "Will you support an FBI investigation?" And he kept saying, "I'll support whatever the committee wants." There was no reason for him not to go. Sure, just do a FBI investigation because the committee's not going to do it any fucking way. There's no reason for him. I get why, but yeah, I really don't like this this idea that they put forward yesterday that if you're innocent, there's no reason not to have a federal investigation of your life, because that's fucking stupid. Monkey talking about this without me. What is he hiding? Hey, Scribbles. No, somebody asked me on Twitter if I would talk about it because they're coming up on the vote for within the committee. I do want to stress that again. This is not the vote for him to be confirmed. This is just the vote to recommend him to the Senate to be confirmed. So that is the vote I think that they were talking about may come tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll see how fast it comes. Hasn't he already been through FBI vetting before? Yeah, he's been the subject of 6 FBI investigations, but they don't really investigate that much there. It's not like they go investigate criminal complaints against somebody. What they do is they look at possible criminal complaints. They look at everything that's known about the guy, put it together in a file, and send it on to the White House. In this case, as soon as Dianne Feinstein 2 months later finally gave the information to the FBI, they put it in the file like they are supposed to. If they believe that this actually happened, if they believe that this is that he did this, they need to go to the local prosecutor. Now, it should be noted that the governor of Maryland said he's not going to order the state police to investigate this, which makes sense because it's not a state police matter. It is a local police matter. And in Maryland, there is no statute of limitation on felony rape. Whether this qualifies as felony rape because it was attempted rape, it was assault, basically, that would be up to them to decide, up to the local prosecutor. But that's where this needs to go if you want it investigated, not the FBI, because the FBI is going to go and they're going to ask the people that have already given statements, and those people are going to give the same statements. The only thing the FBI investigation might tell us is whether or when Mark Judge worked at Safeway, which apparently was a big to-do yesterday, because I did see, because we talked about this last night, and I said, he could have worked all summer there. And Mark Judge did say he worked for several weeks at the Safeway. So it's not going to give them a specific time. And that's nice to see you. You guys should have met Anita Hill. I was I remember the Anita Hill hearings, and for those of you who don't remember, Anita Hill said that Clarence Thomas talked about Long Dong Silver, a porn star, and that he asked Anita Hill, "Who put pubic hairs on my Coke?" Which is a valid question. If there's pubic hairs on your Coke, definitely ask who did it. But that was the basic charges against him. He told inappropriate jokes and talked about a porn star. And it's actually the first time I thought, you know what, maybe men and women shouldn't work together, because guys talking about a porn movie they saw, it would be no big deal. But because there was a woman in the office, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to talk to her about that because vagina, again. As we get to equality, we have to change everything to accommodate women. It's not that women have to change to accommodate men. No. Anita Hill also continued to contact him months after all this harassment. Yeah. She said that was for, if I'm remembering correctly, that was for career reasons. But Senator Grassley's talking again. I gotta say, he was funny yesterday too. Every time they kept talking about, there's no investigation, and he was like, "You guys had the chance to investigate," and that was funny. But I thought the Anita Hill thing was a turning point, and believe it or not, guys, because this was what 1991, which makes me, dude, I'm doing math in my head. 1991, it makes me 16. I clearly remember having arguments with people about this because the whole thing was, this is sexual harassment. And at that time, up until that time, nobody ever talked about sexual harassment being anything other than suck my dick or I'm going to fire you, or suck my dick or I'm not going to give you this promotion. It was always about sex for something job related. And this was the first time that it became a big thing that even making sexual jokes to a woman constituted sexual harassment. And it's like, no, that's not right. And wasn't she white? No, Anita Hill's black. She's black as Justice Thomas. We've also seen wait, let's see this. Backstrand says, if Trump ends up picking another justice, do you think we'll have to go through all this again? Excuse me. I want you guys to really pay attention to this part. Hillary Clinton lost the election, and a lot of people are upset about that. Adding insult to injury, Donald Trump nominated somebody who was part of the investigation into Bill Clinton. Adam asked me if I'm smoking. Of course I am. But that's not what I just choked on. That was on my Diet Pepsi. What station are you watching it on? I'm watching it on Fox. He says, I'm watching on CBS News through YouTube. I don't really watch local news or anything. I can't. Where we live, you can't pick it up, and we don't have cable. We do everything through Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime. So Kamala Uganda giant. That's not nice. I will say this. I think Kamala Harris is cute. I'd bang her. She's an idiot. You put your dick in her mouth so she can't talk. That's sexual harassment, guys. Sorry. But yeah, the Anita Hill case, they keep talking about the FBI investigated. The FBI investigated that. The Anita Hill allegations happened when they worked at the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. They worked for a federal agency. That is why the FBI had jurisdiction from the get-go. As soon as it's like, this is something that happened, it's a criminal thing we need to look into. That's what they're for. The charges that Ford has made, the charges that Deborah has made. God, I should really. It's Ramirez. Is that her last name? I forget. And that Sweatnick. God, that's a horrible name for somebody who says they've been gang raped. These are all local crimes. All local crimes that, if they all happened in Maryland, as they suggest, well, let's back up. The 1 and 3 happen in Maryland. Those are crimes that should be investigated by local police, for fuck's sake. Go fucking report it, you idiots. And you know what's going to happen? If this is why they're not going to the local police. If Ford goes to the police and says, this happened to me, and they go, okay, we'll investigate it. And they'll go talk to the people that she names who were there. And all of those people are going to give the same statement that they've already given. Because if they don't, they're guilty of perjury. They're going to give the exact same things. And the police are going to go, there is nothing to investigate here. And then it all goes away. And if they do the same thing with Rape Girl, with Gang Rape Girl, that's a bad thing to call Sweatnick. I'm sorry. They're gonna go, why'd you keep going back to these parties? And she's not gonna have an answer. And they're gonna go, who was there? And if she doesn't have named people other than the 2 people that she's already named, it all goes away because there's nothing to fucking investigate. At least he didn't choke on a Coke. Yeah, I don't drink Coke. Although I went to the store. I mentioned this last night. We don't have a decent grocery store here. We had one, and the guy who ran it wanted to sell it, and he was asking for like $4 million, which it wasn't worth. And so it just went out of business. So the closest thing we have is actually a Dollar General, which barely has any food. And so I went there to get my Diet Pepsi, and they had no 2 liters, so I'm drinking out of little bottles. Pissed me off. Stargazer Nuts says she wanted her turn. I can't come up with any other suggestion. This is a college woman, a college-age woman who is hanging out at high school parties where she thinks rape is happening. And she kept going back. Here's the thing: the USC can't rule to overturn it unless there's a case that gets to the USC. Yeah, that's right, Thomas. If you guys are talking about, actually, if you're talking about anything, but I assume you're talking about Roe in the chat there. That's how it works. It's not like they can just somebody. There was a video. God, was it Vox? I think it was. It was either. The one that had the stupid bitch who said, if Kavanaugh gets in, I'm going to die. Yeah, they suggested that he's immediately going to be able to turn over Roe. That's not how the Supreme Court works. In order for the Supreme Court to make a ruling on any case, a case regarding that subject has to reach them. Until then, whatever is precedent, period. So like with Roe, unless an abortion case about the right to an abortion makes it to them, nothing changes. Jesus Christ, just get out there and fucking vote. Or they're having press conferences where everybody's running out there talking about how they're going to vote and shit. Nobody cares. Get in there and vote. We know how the vote's going to go. The Reaper says, thank you. I have been arguing that with so many people. They just can't open up a case and overturn it. Yeah, that's not how the Supreme Court works. I'm actually a fan of the Supreme Court. I enjoy watching what they do and reading their opinions. But yeah, people have it in their mind that as soon as this happens, if Kavanaugh gets on the court, they're going to vote immediately. They think it's like Congress, I think. Monkey, their politicians must get in the sound bites. I understand that, but we didn't have to deal with that shit yesterday. They only did that during the break between Ford and Kavanaugh, and it was actually pretty short. Just get them the fuck in there and let them vote. Why does Senator Blumenthal look like a cuck? I probably shouldn't comment on what I think, because it would end up being a slander. And if somebody put it to him, he's not going to sue me, but I don't want to take that chance. I mean, yeah. Anyway, Dems keep digging deeper and deeper. Yeah. I can't believe they're fighting this hard on this one. I know why they are. I still think I think the signs are obvious, but Michael, thank you. Good morning, Monkey. This is a pleasant surprise. Well, I appreciate that. And Rare Eagle, no message, just appreciate your content. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I almost did this last night because after the show, I still had so much to say about this. That hearing yesterday was fucking retarded. We knew that. We knew that going in, because there was going to be it wasn't like a Perry Mason or Matlock moment was going to come up. And God, that probably dates me. How about Law and Order? There wasn't going to be a Law and Order moment where sometime during the hearing, somebody's going to stand up with major evidence that proves one way or another what happened. Because we already knew everything. We did. And that's the part that kills me about them demanding an FBI investigation. We already know. The four this guy says Matlock. Yeah, you used to watch Matlock, didn't you? Matlock was a great show. I don't care what anybody says. But there wasn't going to be this moment, and we already knew everything. Unexpected morning monkey. My day is made. Thank you, the Dark Wolf. I would have actually been working on a video, but there's noise going on around my house. By the way, guys, I am supposed to be streaming today at 4 with Polydub. We're going to be talking about some of the shit going on in colleges right now. And he's somebody who has a lot of insight to that because he's dealing with that shit. Flake is a yes. Yeah, he said that last night. I can't remember. I know I saw it on Drudge this morning. Wow, somebody's yelling at him in an elevator right now about how they have children and 2 children. Did you guys see the comment yesterday? The chick who said, "Put your daughters down in front of your sons down in front of the TV and show them." Show the little potential rapist or the little rapist you're raising not to do that. Don't put that on your daughters. Like, you crazy bitch. How old is Polydub? I actually don't know. But he's a great guy, great to talk to. And Scribe, you are horrible for that. He said Matlock sucked and he likes Murder, She Wrote. You just wanted to bang Angela Lansbury. Be honest, man. At least be honest about why you preferred one over the other. How come they never told these #MeToo women or hold these #MeToo women accountable for holding back evidence? You know what? A lot of people have talked about Keith Ellison, and this is one where I tend to break with my side because I am more conservative. And if you don't understand that, then yeah. Thank you, Michael. So many monkey streams deserve super chats. Changed my mind. Don't change his mind. I appreciate all of them, and you guys supply me with Snickers bars and ramen. Guardian of the West says, I don't know what Matlock is. It was a TV show about a lawyer. Scribe says, have you seen Angela Lansbury when she was young? Of course, she was very hot when she was young, but she was not young when she was on Murder, She Wrote. Come on now. Damn it, I lost my thought because of all that. Shit. Fuck. Somebody help me out. What was I talking about? I don't even know. I don't fucking know. Which channel? Polydub's yours. We're going to be on my channel. Kojak is a police show. Matlock is a lawyer show. That's true. Kojak was, I actually never saw Kojak. Miss Marples was way better than Murder, She Wrote. Oh, we were talking about why they never have evidence, and Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison's accuser says she has video evidence of what happened to her. For those of you who don't know, Keith Ellison is running for I think it's the assistant attorney general of some state, Wisconsin, maybe. And a lot of Republicans have pointed to this case and said, why don't Democrats care as much about this as about the Kavanaugh thing? Ellison is accused of abusing his ex-girlfriend and actually accusing 2 ex-girlfriends. The most recent one has said that she has evidence. She went to her doctor and told her doctor, and she got a medical report. But the medical report isn't actually of like her being abused. It's of her telling the doctor later. Oh, Minnesota, thank you. But telling the doctor later that she had been abused. That is not evidence. It's not. But she claims she has video of this and refuses to release it because she says it's what was it? Degrading, I think is the word she used. But if you have fucking evidence that this happened, put it out there. Nobody can question that. If you have video, what she says happened is that he pulled her off a bed and told her to get the fuck out of his house. Which, okay, if that happened, I don't know that disqualifies him from the position, but it certainly will give people pause. So kick him out. Okay, I gotta pause this because these people talking in my ear is annoying as fuck. There we go. Especially when nothing's going on. I'm not with the people who say Ellison needs to be held accountable. We don't have anything for him to be held accountable to other than her word. And actually the word of her son, because her son is the one who started this. He released statements saying that his mother had been abused by Ellison. But if she has this video, if she has that, put it out there so people can see it. don't make us listen and believe, because listen and believe is fucking stupid. What needs to happen in this case is release the evidence or shut the fuck up. I am so tired of listen and believe. Listen and believe is moronic. Guys, I actually started a script for a video, and I'm probably still going to make it, but you're going to hear it here. Listen and believe literally is telling people to turn off their fucking brains. It's saying, look, you don't need to think about this. Just listen and believe, which is fucking retarded. You have a brain for a reason. Like in this Ford case, I mentioned this earlier. I've asked people, what corroborating evidence is there for Ford? If you believe her, just answer me this. What corroborating evidence is there? And nobody will answer, because there isn't any. There's literally fucking none. You can still believe her. I don't care. But at least come out and admit that. At least come out and say, look, there is no fucking evidence for this, but I believe her because she has a vagina, and I like vagina, and I hope one day she'll let me touch it, which, by the way, don't do that. Looking at her neck, you don't want to touch that vag. Heard about doxing of the Republicans Congress members. I did. We talked about it last night on the show very briefly. There were 4 or 3 of them. Lindsey Graham, Orrin Hatch, and I forget the third one. But yeah, they were briefly on there, and Wikipedia pulled it down. Yeah, fucking dicks. How'd you let that happen? Ellison's accusation that he had a fake picture attached to it. What? I don't know what that means, Captain. Is Ellison's accusation that he had a fake picture attached to it? I don't know what you're asking there. The other allegation against Ellison, I call bullshit on. I really do, because what came out is the 911 call, and what it said was that, excuse me, he yelled at her and moved her out of his way. Why the fuck were you in his way? It doesn't say that he threw her anywhere, that he punched her. He moved her out of his way so he could get out of the fucking house. I don't necessarily think that's criminal assault. Why would anyone do that? Why would anyone do what? You got to be more specific there. This idea of listen, believe ain't new when it comes to media. Example, War of the Worlds, original broadcast. It wasn't pushed as an idea that you should embrace, though. I mean, yeah, exactly. Anthony Vogel just said it. Listen and believe is religious dogma. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is believe in the absence of evidence. And that is fucking retarded, especially when you're talking about stuff that can not only ruin a man's life and getting him fired and making sure he can never work again, but get him thrown in fucking prison. Jean-Pierre is asking why anybody would dox them. They did it because they want people to go to their house and hurt them. That's why. That's why you tell somebody where people live. There's no other reason. That's the whole reason you dox anyone. God. Let's see. Props for trying to be neutral these days, but it's really difficult. Well, it's not difficult. It's not. You just have principles and you stick to them. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. The way you be and it's not even neutral. You can be left or right, but you need to be consistent when you're talking about people and what you believe and whether you believe accusations against them. And so far, nothing has come out against Ellison that is any better evidence than has come out against Ford, in my opinion. And this woman, God, what's her name? Fuck, I don't remember. Saying she has evidence. She has video evidence and won't release it. Why? What is the point of having this and not doing it? You can literally put an end to all speculation if you just put it out. Jean-Pierre asks, who's Gloria Steinem? She's a very prominent feminist from the 70s and early 80s. She lost favor with them as they got even more lunatic-y. Lunatic-y, is that a word? Let's see. People need more grains of salt in their life. Yeah, you're not wrong there. But when it comes to stuff like this, look, if Kavanaugh is a serial rapist, as Swetnick has suggested, then no, I don't want him on the Supreme Court. But I want more evidence than a woman who claims to have seen them standing outside of a door. Because remember, she's not claiming that she was actually raped by Kavanaugh and Judge. She claims that they were in the house at the time, and she claims that she saw them standing in line to run a train on other women that she says were drunk and drugged. She claims that when she was part of the train, she thinks she was on Quaaludes. But she also says because she saw them spiking punch, she stopped drinking punch at their party. So I'm wondering how she got the Quaalude. Because if you look at, it's funny that she used the word Quaalude because that's something you don't hear about very much anymore. Because if you watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street, they really explain it to you. But at the time, Quaaludes were kind of a big thing. But there's two things that make me question her use of Quaaludes. One, it was in the Cosby complaint, and two, the movie Wolf of Wall Street. But she suggests that somebody slipped her a Quaalude. But if you look at the Cosby complaint, there's very few of the arguments that he had actually like drugged their drinks or something. It was that he gave them something for a headache or something like that, and it turned out to be a Quaalude. And why the hell wouldn't she warn other girls? Yeah, that's a great question. That's there was an interesting question I saw on Twitter today about Ford. It's why in the fuck would she run out of this party and leave her friend there? That is an excellent question. Your lifelong friend you left at a fucking party where you were almost raped and you thought you might be accidentally killed. Lindsey Graham is speaking. That I'm sure he is. I will be shocked if this vote doesn't go 11-10 in favor of pushing this on to the Senate for full vote. It's just what's going to happen here because it's partisan politics. This shit had nothing to do with fucking attempted rape charges. This was nothing but fucking politics. Tim Pool, liberal, actually had the best take I've heard on this yesterday. I don't agree with him, but I respect his fair viewpoint. I didn't see it, Opie. What did he say? I'm curious. What did Rare Eagle ask? I'm sorry. It's hard to, can I post a link? I'll make you a mod for a second, but I'm going to take it back because I do have plenty of mods. There you go. You can post a link now. We do. I know there's a ton of people that like Sinatra who's streaming right now. Again, I love Sinatra. There's a lot of channels who wrench everybody. I actually wrench people as needed for actual moderation. Did you see the walkout then press conference? Oh, is that what's going on? Is that why they're taking so fucking long with this? They're throwing a political fit. I didn't realize that was what was happening, but I'm not surprised. It's not the first time these fucking little babies didn't do their goddamn job because they didn't get their way. One girl said Cosby made her a cappuccino and the phone made her lips tingle. Yeah, I know that, Captain Assassin, but most of the charges were that he gave them something that turned out to be, like he said it was aspirin, but it was a Quaalude. Wow, Monkey and I don't agree on anything. As you're a Phoenix, that's okay. I thought you were watching the vote. I stopped because I don't care about them grandstanding. They're not actually doing the vote. I watched up and I did see when they did the vote on whether or not to have Mark Judge subpoenaed, and that went as a quick no. The new trial by mob. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Who was it that was telling me about Tim Pool? Where'd that go? I get so distracted. If you guys have never been in a live stream, trying to pay attention to everything going on while talking is a fucking pain in the ass. The vote is at 1:30 Eastern. Oh, they pushed it back, huh? Because some Dems walked out because they're fucking babies. They're fucking babies. All they got to do is sit down and vote. You know how it's going to go. What? Just sit down and fucking vote. Oh, was it me or were they preaching yesterday? A lot of them were. I do remember, I can't remember which congresswoman it was, but near the end of Ford's portion of the, how many screens do I have? I have 2 up. Sorry. It's not the screens, it's the listening to it as I'm trying to talk. But there was one congresswoman who, and this was a Democrat congresswoman talking to Ford, who actually brought up Trump, which has nothing to fucking do with this. It has nothing to goddamn. Trump has nothing to do with this charge. Now, again, I do think that I think Trump picked Kavanaugh partially to fuck with the Democrats. I really do. The smarter pick here would have been the chick, I forget her name, the redhead, the cute little redhead that was there. Because the Democrats couldn't have done this to her. Not Americans. So I'm wondering if they walk out, you can't have the vote. I'm not sure of the Senate rules. I'm sure they're going to talk about it eventually on something. But if they don't show up, I mean, they're going to lose the vote anyway. But yeah, the Senate Democrat brought up Trump in this, and I think Trump did this to fuck with them because Hillary lost and Kavanaugh was part of the Starr investigation. But that doesn't disqualify him, and that doesn't mean the charges against him are valid. Kevin says, and Dems, we're taking our ball and going home. Yeah. She's the next one to be voted on from what I know. The redhead. Yeah. When Ginsburg passes, or if this doesn't go, yeah, I'm probably, I'm like 100% sure that they will go with her, because why wouldn't you? I'm trying to open that link. Why is this not? Obama warns against racial nationalistic politics. Oh, it's just posted today. Kolding, Denmark. Former U.S. President Barack Obama warned Friday against rising nationalism as he painted a grim picture of American and global politics on a visit to Denmark. Quote, I'm concerned enough about the international and American trends that I thought it was important to offer my views. When you start seeing our politics driven completely free of facts, really? Fuck you. When you start seeing a debate that is driven solely on racial and nationalistic impulses, when you start seeing a rejection of science, my head's gonna explode. And expertise in logic and politics, we are beyond the sort of politics that will continue our best traditions. I don't necessarily disagree with what he said there. I just think that him and the Democrats might want to actually listen to what he said there. One of the things that I believe needs to really be expressed is that a lot of the social justice nonsense absolutely refuses to pay attention to science. Biology, for instance, they throw it right out the fucking window. They're like, I don't care about biology. There are 9,000 billion different sexes. Like, no. Senator Flake says he'll vote for Brett. Yeah, he announced that earlier today. I saw that on Drudge. Tim Pool basically said that he believes that she is not lying, but that she is most likely mistaken on who actually did what she's saying. She was fucked up at the time, and it was 30 years ago. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with him. I don't necessarily think she's lying. I have jokingly said, bitch be lying. I don't believe her story. 100%, I do not believe her story. And when people ask me, I've argued with a lot of people on Twitter about this. Here's the thing. She named, was it 4 or 5 people that were in the house? And not, I can't remember if that counts Kavanaugh or not. I know 4 people. And all of them have said either I have no memory of this party. I have no, her Leland, her friend Leland, lifelong friend Leland says, I have never been at a party with Brett Kavanaugh. I don't remember ever meeting him. And everyone else has said this didn't happen. That would be interesting if women came out and randomly accused every Dem voting against Kavanaugh of rape 30 years ago. Just as, we talked about this last night. Somebody asked, why doesn't that happen? And the truth is because it is hard to get people to lie about other people on such a big scale. I can see it happening. I can see people doing it, but I just don't see it happening on a major scale because those people would be sorry. They would open themselves up to slander if they wrote it, open themselves up to libel. It's just I believe her, but in no way believe Brett was involved. He didn't attack her. I agree. Oh, Vanilla Bear, hi. For those of you who don't know, that is the lovely wife of Irate Bear, and she's a sweetheart. Not to him though, because she's a wife, and just like Lady Monkey's a sweetheart, but not to me. You can't get people to lie on a massive scale like that because it opens them up to so many problems. I don't believe. I don't know if she was actually assaulted. As we talked about last night, I am shocked that nobody asked her about other details. What color was that bathing suit you were wearing? What color? What were you wearing? A blouse or a t-shirt? Jeans? What was he wearing? Was he wearing jeans and a t-shirt? Was he in swim trunks? What was Mark wearing? You looked this man in the eye to the point where you thought for a moment he would come save you. Did you pay? What was he wearing? What color was the wall he was standing against? Was there carpet on the floor? Anything that says, hey, Biggest Mikey, anything that would suggest she had other memories other than just, her memory is literally, she got pushed into the bedroom by Brett. She's not sure that Mark helped or not. They locked the door. He pushed her down, jumped on top of her, covered her mouth, or she screamed. He then covered her mouth, and they turned up the radio to try to drown it out. He was trying to get into her clothes, but for some reason, a one-piece bathing suit underneath her clothes stopped him from removing her clothes. Unless they were fucking stapled together, that makes no fucking sense. A bathing suit doesn't make it any harder to take off clothes than being naked because they are skin tight. If they ask what she was wearing, they'll call it victim blaming. That's why I say they can ask about other things. Backscan. They can ask about what he was wearing. Ask about what the carpet in the place was like. What was the color of the walls? What color was the bedspread? And she can say it was dark. Okay. She tells us she was in the hallway. She walked up the stairs. She remembers walking up the stairs. Okay. Were they wooden or what were they covered in carpet? And if it was carpet, what color? What color were the walls? She then ran into the bathroom after Mark Judge jumped on the bed, toppling the pile is what she says, which is fucking stupid because there's no pile. There's 2 people. But that toppled the pile to the point where she was able to get up and run out of the room, the locked room, which she never mentions unlocking that door, which bothers me. But she gets through that door and runs into the bathroom and locks herself in there. And then she hears the 2 of them drunkenly going down the stairs. Did they turn down the radio? She doesn't tell us that. She says she heard them bouncing off the walls and then going downstairs and having a conversation. And the lawyer yesterday asked her, what were they talking about? I don't know. I didn't hear him. Well, how do you know they're having a conversation? I just assumed. Huh? Did you see John Ward's video about the chick who was assaulted by a Feinstein donor? I did not. But anyway, she then says she runs out of the house. Okay. Again, you were in the hallway. What color was it? What were the stairs like? Was there a railing? Was there a wooden railing there? These are all things that if she remembers all of this part, she should remember. She says she then ran out into the street and she was relieved. Okay, what houses were around? What'd they look like? That to me is something that that sets in. This is your moment of salvation, and you're telling me you don't remember shit, nothing. I have trouble believing that. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Her little girl voice made me wish Cav would give me a beer. He did go on a little bit too much about we liked beer. Let's see. Did you see? Oh no, I already read that. So she can see through walls. Oh, well, she said she heard them. She didn't say she actually saw, but she said she heard them do it. Anyone know yet what was in the envelope passed to a lawyer? Supposedly it was statements from people outside who weren't allowed to come in. InfoWars reported that earlier today, and for them to be saying, Sheila Jackson Lee wasn't up to any no good, I tend to believe them. I don't know that that's true, but Sharon, like, please, I appreciate that. As to her little girl voice, I don't know that that's not how she talks regularly. They need to do one of those Criminal Mind. Oh my God. Sorry about that, guys. Criminal Mind hypno interview thingies on her. That's yeah. That's fiction. Jenna says pinballing. Yes, that is the actual term she used to describe them going down the stairs. Wait, InfoWars is on the internet. It was linked by Paul Joseph Watson, who I do follow because I think he's funny. And sometimes he's actually right. But yeah, he linked it on Twitter. Sheila Jackson Lee thought the Constitution was 400 years old. Sheila Jackson Lee's an idiot. You guys have to understand this. Most of your congressional representatives are fucking idiots. They're just people. Lindsey Graham was dissecting the accusation and the evidence at the moment. That's what needed done. I hate that they had that lawyer there. I understand why they did it. They did that for optics. But I hate that they had that lawyer there. Somebody needed to ask her questions that were relevant to what happened. The Democrats didn't do that. I forget that chick's name, the one that got into the little spat with Kavanaugh, who asked, have you ever been drunk when you don't remember shit? I swear I slept last night, guys. But she was the only one that seemed to ask any questions about what actually supposedly happened. She asked about specific details of the night. None of the other ones did that. The rest of them all thanked her for her bravery, thanked her for changing the world. And you know what? If that is true, if Ford actually turns out to be a moment where we change, because we did after Anita Hill, whether you guys know it or not. If she does, listen and believe will be solidified in our country, and that is a fucking horrible thing. Let's see. It is a little off topic, but Alyssa Milano should have been moved out of frame yesterday. I thought it distracted. I loved seeing her there. I loved seeing her little fucking pushed up face right next to his right shoulder. I laughed my ass off. Who's that bald lawyer with Ford? I don't know his name. It's one of her lawyers. Stunning and brave, Anthony Vogel says. Yeah, absolutely. That was one of their things. She's stunning. She's brave. Look, you are a look. I need to address this because they kept talking about how she's a role model for people. No, she isn't. Even if what she said is true. She waited 36 fucking years to bring it public. 36 years. There was an argument yesterday about whether or not she brought this up before or after the confirmation. I don't give a fuck. She waited 36 years to tell anybody in authority that this happened. If you want to be stunning and brave, when you get sexually assaulted, you run to the fucking police and you point a finger right then. You don't wait all this time. You don't wait and do it when you see somebody who might have a chance to go on the Supreme Court. And by the way, politically is on the opposite side of you. because that didn't get brought up very much at all. Her politics. It would be, and I guess that has a lot to do with the fact that she shut down her fucking Twitter and Facebook so nobody can see what she said before. But if you want to be what I am so tired of this, I get it. I understand why victims might not come forward. I do. But what we need to be telling them is that if you want justice, you need to come forward, because that's how we do it. If you talk to like FBI agents and they talk about kidnapping, they'll tell you the first 48 hours is fucking important. That is when everything needs to be taken care of as on point as possible, because that is the most important time. And it's like that with every fucking crime, because the earlier you get it done, the more accurate witnesses are, the more evidence you have at that fucking time. Oh, I just fucking hate this, that they're actually pushing the idea that it's okay to wait to report things. You know what? It is okay that you do that. No, fuck that. It's not okay, because what you're doing when you do that is putting other people at risk. We don't do that with like theft. We don't do that with murder. We don't do that with any other fucking crime. The only time we do that is, oh, she's a victim of crime and she's a victim of sexual assault. It's okay that she waited 36 years and 15 other people got raped. That's not okay. It's not. Guys, I'm gonna pull a Medicare here. I need to go roll a couple cigarettes. I will be back in like a minute. So hang out. And I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna sing to you as I walk out of the room. I hope that's okay. I'll be back. Is it weird that I can't feel my bottom lip? I think that's probably a problem. I don't normally sing like this, but I hope you can hear me. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I wasn't planning on doing this, and I probably should have got myself a little more ready. I need to cue up the Jeopardy music. Yeah. No, I've seen several Medicare streams where he like disappears for 10 minutes at a time to go do something, and I'm probably exaggerating this, probably two or 3 minutes. I thought, hey, fuck, if he can do it, I can do it. Let's see. Every victim that follows is on you. Yeah. And people don't like us to say that. People don't like us to say that if you don't report your sexual crime, then the next person is on you. But it's if you saw somebody murder someone and you didn't tell anyone, I don't think anybody would have a problem saying, well, the next murder is partially your fault. Renting Monkey, sing along with your hits from the 40s and 50s, Volume 1. Yeah. I sing to myself a lot, but not quite like that. I usually actually sing real songs, but I can't do that on stream because they'll slap me. They'll give me that YouTube slap. As your Phoenix says, I reported my rapist when I was 11. My own family were telling me not to tell anyone. No report. You know what? That's I think it was Amanda. Amanda. What does she go by now? I forget what she goes by now. But Amanda said that on Twitter that when it comes to telling people about rape, the people that most often tell you not to do it are your friends and family. And if that's true, that's fucking retarded. The one case that I have been involved in like that, we went to the police station as soon as we were told. Yes, Amanda Wolfchild. Thank you, Nuts. As soon as we were told, because that's when you need to do it. Chance of Ford being a stooge. I don't think she's a stooge. I think she's being used here. If she honestly believes this happened, if she honestly believes it was Kavanaugh, then I, I think she's mistaken. But I don't think. It depends on what you mean by stooge, I guess. Why was Alyssa Milano there? So I had something pretty to look at. I like Alyssa Milano's appearance. I think she's beautiful. But she was there as a guest of Senator Feinstein. Not my family. My family called the cops to report the body they just found. Look, anybody, we need to be pushing the idea. It's funny that the people that complain about rape culture are the ones that they're like, it's okay not to report rape. What? That makes no fucking sense. None. If you believe there is a problem that rape is happening too often, you should be pushing the idea that we need to report it immediately. Anyway, that's enough on that subject. Did I miss some things? Cognitive thought, having opinions on American politics. I don't have a problem with anyone having an opinion on American politics. It's a far more popular thing to talk about than most other politics. But yeah, I mean, our politics affect the world. It's kind of like the way that California politics affects the U.S. because eventually that shit's coming here. Did the vote happen yet? Ebony asked. No, it's been put off till 1:30 because a bunch of whiny brat ass Democrats marched out of the meeting, refused to vote because they're cunts. And it's funny. It's the usual suspects. It was the chick from Hawaii. I forget her name. And it was Kamala Harris. And it was, who's that creepy dude that looks like he died and they put skin over him? I don't remember. And of course, the admitted sexual assaulter, Cory Booker. Somebody got mad at me for saying that, said it was an ad hominem. You know what I mean? Thank you, Noel. My best friend was raped. She showed up for the trial. She showed up for every parole hearing. Good for her. That's what we need to do. And that's what we need to fucking push. Tell somebody. Blumenthal. Thank you, Kyle. That's the dude. Yeah, Stolen Valor, Blumenthal. God, he looks like he died already. He really does. If you've ever seen a skeleton that's been unearthed, that's what he fucking looks like. And more important, that's how he sounds too. He's a fucking idiot. Like his brain already rotted away. And it was funny. I was watching the CBS feed, and it cut out after 8 hours, and then I switched over to the NBC feed on YouTube, guys. I was just I'm not a follower of either, so don't get mad. But I can't remember which one it was, but somebody actually pointed out that it was funny that he was questioning Kavanaugh and questioning his credibility, given his own credibility gaps. Far right Yorkshireman, would a guy get taken this seriously if he waited? No. And we saw that with Terry Crews. And he didn't even wait as long as he didn't wait 36 fucking years. Cognitive thought audience is a large part American. Saying you can't talk about American is saying you can't talk about what his audience wants. Silly. Yeah, I don't care what anybody talks about. Do what you enjoy. That's what you should do on YouTube. Do what you enjoy, what you're passionate about. I hope you can tell that I am passionate about fucking politics. Because I am. This to me, and I said this repeatedly yesterday, this to me is like the Super Bowl. I enjoy when they get in the mud. I don't necessarily enjoy the outcome, but I like the fight. I really do. A guy wouldn't get taken seriously if he was raped in the police station. Yeah, we know there's a problem with that. The only time it seems to be taken seriously these days is if the Catholic Church is involved. And I'm not saying that, I'm not slamming the Catholic Church there, but that seems to be the only time it's taken serious. The Terry Crews thing was fucking weird to watch. This is a man who says, "Look, I was sexually assaulted," and everybody's like, "Well, look at how big you are. You must have wanted it or something." And I just sat here going, "Really? You have this guy telling you what happened in the hashtag Me Too era, and your response is literally the things that you would be bitching about if somebody said it about a woman." And it doesn't matter which woman it was. Take Serena Williams, who I'm quite sure is a man. They would be like, "Oh no!" They wouldn't go, "Look at them shoulders on that bitch. She should have been able to push it off." Let's see. Hey, monkey, what's for breakfast? What the hell did I eat? I had something. Oh, I had a Snickers bar. I should probably, maybe that's why I can't feel my face. Feinstein went off on how belligerent, inappropriate, rude, aggressive Kavanaugh was when when he gave his opening statement this morning. Kavanaugh was fucking on point. I watched that yesterday, and I saw a lot of people going, "Oh, why is he angry? I think that's turning people off." And I specifically tweeted out a Dave Chappelle thing. Dave Chappelle, in a comedy special from I think it's more than a decade by now. Yeah, it was, because it was one of the Bush. I think it was one of the Bush ones. Anyway, he's like, "Have you ever been accused of sleeping with a woman you didn't?" And he's like, I didn't fuck that bitch." And it's even worse if you're accused of sexual assault against somebody. I would imagine. I've never been accused of sexual assault, thank you, but I have been accused of sleeping with somebody I didn't. And the only reason that anybody finally believed me is she made a mistake. She told them that I don't like kissing, and I'm a big kisser. I like kissing. It makes me happy. And so the two girls I was dating at the time were like, "That bitch is lying." Anyway, new shirt. I like beer. I should make a I like beer shirt. Jay Willie asked what happened. You'll have to be more specific. Ranching Monkey, why are we talking about Year of the Woman? Why are they talking about Year of the Woman? Because they're morons. Can't feel your face if you're not touching your face. No, actually, I have that tingling thing going on, like the pins and needles, but not really pins and needles. Just like, I can't feel this. Just a matter of time before they start killing people. I don't doubt that. And well, they've already tried. You had the dude who shot up the congressional softball game. And it's weird because we had that guy who shot up the news station, and pardon me guys for forgetting where, but immediately we had all kinds of people come out. Trump has blood on his hands because he doesn't like the media. But when the congressional softball game got shot up, we didn't have any news people come out and go, this is the fault of the Democrat because the Democrats, because they call the Republicans evil and say that they want to take all your money and kill your grandma. Kavanaugh's anger was justified. They're literally trying to destroy his life and family for political gain. Direwolf, you're not wrong. His anger was absolutely justified. If he came out and was like, "Yeah, man, I ain't do that," or like, "I don't know what y'all talking about. I ain't do that," I would have been like, "That bitch is lying." With the way he came out, I believe him. If that was me, that's how I would act. But it was funny to see how many feminists and other morons on Twitter yesterday were like, "Oh, he's angry. He should stop that." And then when he was, the man was tearing up, and they were like, "Oh, look at that bitch man crying." Like, he can't fucking win. He can't fucking win. Katie, I don't believe Ford at all. Who sits on the thing for 35, 36 years if it's this important? Why are there zero police reports? Why haven't any of these people come out to say, yeah? I I doubt her story as she tells it. If I'm being absolutely honest, that's the problem. I doubt the story as she tells it. I can't say her story is absolutely false because I don't know. I do think it's false in that I don't think Brett Kavanaugh was involved, at least not as she describes it. I can't say it. Start a GoFundMe. Help me move out of California, please. Well, Chris, here's the problem. I have like 460 different fundraisers going for myself, and my newest one, I forgot to announce this. It's the Kavanaugh We Drank Beer Fund. None of the money is going to him. It'll all go to me. But if you support We Drank Beer, send me some money. I think something happened to her, but not by Brett. I'm not even positive. I'm not positive something happened to her. I don't want to say more unless I can get more information. I think the memory's too old and she was too drunk to know what happened. I wish somebody would have asked her about her drinking. They spent so much time on Kavanaugh's drinking. How much did you drink? Did you ever black out? They never asked her that. The only thing they asked her was, did you have a drink? And she said, yes, 1 beer. They never asked her if she had a problem with drinking. They never asked her if she ever blacked out from drinking. I would like to know more about this 15-year-old who had no problem drinking a beer, because when I was 15, I'm like, that shit tastes nasty. I was asked to check my... Oh, Adam, did you want me to check my Twitter for the I Like Beer song? Excuse me. Let's see. Planted memory. I don't know if it was planted. I do think it's weird that that she went to Feinstein. The first thing Feinstein was like, okay, you need to get a lawyer. And the lawyer's like, you need to get this polygraph test where they're going to ask you 2 questions. By the way, that's all they ask, guys. 2 questions. When I was 15, I drank a lot of beer. I thought it tasted like shit. Sorry, dude. But even that, okay, you drank a lot of beer. I think there's 2 kinds of people. Those who would drink a lot of beer at 15 and those who are like, that's nasty. I've never known any in between. Why is Believe Women trending on Twitter? Because people are fucking stupid. And it's not trending for me, so. What's here? The GOP lawyer caught her up a few times. Yeah, she did. She caught her on the flying thing was the funny one. The flying thing. Yes, I am afraid to fly. She said she didn't say anything about driving across country, but she did say she was afraid to fly. Thank you, the 4th, for the $2 donation. There's no message there, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That will be going to the We Drank Beer Fund. I don't drink beer, by the way, so that'll actually be going probably to Diet Pepsi and ramen noodles. I forgot what I was talking about. That happens. My mind is a jumble. We were talking about her flying. So her story is that, yes, she is afraid of flying, and she wished that the committee would come out to meet her in California. But she's flown all around the world for vacations. I mean, Diet Pepsi is better than Diet Coke. Fight me. I agree, Lindsay. The only time I would disagree is McDonald's Diet Coke is awesome. I don't know if it's just where I live. I've had it in a few places, and it seems to be the same. I don't know what they do with the mixture, but it actually tastes like they slipped some whiskey in there, and it is awesome. Did you see Patton Oswalt's Believe Women t-shirt? I did, and he's a fucking moron. Diet Pepsi and ramen noodles. Are you in college again? No, it's just I was poor growing up, and it's kind of the diet I ate, and it's what I eat, and it's easy for me to make. There's that is a big part of what of my diet is what I can make. All diet pops are gross. You know, Priestess of Keck, I used to agree with you, and then I started drinking diet, and now I can't drink regular sodas because I think they're nasty. Polygraph test is meant to last an hour and consist of more than 2 questions. according to the guy, because he was on some channel, I want to say CNN. He said that is absolutely normal. I don't know if it is or not. And monkey eats fried bologna. I don't eat fried bologna. One, it's nasty, and two, a regular bologna sandwich is quicker to make. I do it regular bologna. The Senate committee should come to her. That's not how that works. Well, with this charge, I would not have had a problem if what Grassley is. That is another part of this that is just fucking weird. Dianne Feinstein has this letter from a woman who wants to remain anonymous. And instead of informing the rest of the committee, who would have kept it anonymous, because there's no reason for them to release it, because that just hurts their. The leak has been found. Who was it? I'm interested. The House of Reps. Her representative did it. That was the only other choice, and I don't believe that. I think she's taking one for Feinstein. But anyway, Feinstein has this letter, and what she could have done is gone to Grassley and said, "Look, we could have done it all in secret, and we would have never known about it." And they could have investigated, and we would have had the same basic investigation we have now, but it wouldn't have destroyed both of these people. And this was talked about repeatedly in the hearing yesterday. And there was absolutely no reason for Feinstein to have kept it secret so long. Mr. Adam, I'm a zoo minion just visiting. I ain't no monkey crew. What do you mean you ain't no monkey crew? You don't like me? That's hurtful. I like bologna sandwiches. I'm poor. I fancy it up and fry my bologna. Yeah, like I said, I do everything. Okay. The other day, my breakfast and my lunch were a piece of cheese, Kraft Singles, because that's what I could make myself. And don't feel sorry for me. That's just that's how I am now right now, guys. No, you get to warm up questions to find the person truth telling. The question is your name. You're talking about the polygraph test and how they do it. I've seen various different things on how they do it, but I've never seen one like this. But polys are not reliable, easy to beat with minor coaching. This is something that hasn't come up by. I haven't seen anybody else mention it. This woman is a psychologist. And polygraph tests, they measure your heartbeat. I forget what it measures things that a psychologist would be like, I know what they're going to measure here, and I know how to adjust that. I got school lunches for free. I still enjoy better food. You know what? I like a nice, expensive rack of rib, for instance. But in my day-to-day life, I really do fall back to my upbringing, especially after mom died, because it's the same basic thing. It's like, what can I make? Because at that point, it was like, I'm leaving the house. I'm going to go hang out with friends. I need to eat quick. I need some instant flavor. I don't like oatmeal. The only one I really like is the peaches and cream. But yeah, no. Polygraphs are the same as tossing them in water to see if they float. That's the other point about the listen and believe thing. We are basically back at the Salem witch trials. And a woman can just point at somebody, except for this time, instead of pointing at other women, they're pointing at men. There's a reason polys aren't admissible in court. They are admissible in some court. It's up to the judges. It depends. And yes, that varies by state, but they are absolutely sometimes admissible. Monkey needs a sandwich wench. Yeah. I need a nurse with big titties and a cute ass and a oral fetish and a height of like 3 foot And I mean midgets, guys, not children. I'm not a freak. I like midgets. I'm not a freak. I like midgets. Can midgets reach the counter to make sandwiches? I'll get her a stool. Yesterday was simply proof that there's no acceptable way to defend against these type of accusations. You're right. There's not. If somebody makes an accusation like this, you're expected to just admit it and take the shunning of society you're going to get. Because if you do anything else, you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, you're you're racist too. It's weird that we've come to that point, and that's what I meant about it's like the Salem witch trials. We might as well toss them in the ocean and say if you float, then you're a witch, and if you don't float, then whoops, sorry. Because that's what it is. That is what this shit is. It's pointing at somebody and they are instantly guilty. It doesn't matter. And they talked about how this isn't a court of law. It's not. But you're acting like it is. You are accusing a man of a crime. Don't tell me that in a regular job interview, because that's what this isn't a court of law. It's a job interview. Yeah, how many job interviews have you gone to where they go, hey, did you rape somebody? Did you sexually assault somebody? I've interviewed a ton of people and I've never asked them that. I've never asked them anything fucking close to that. It's fucking amazing. It sounds like a nice shirt quote. I'm not a freak. I like midgets. Yeah, you're not wrong. I love midgets. I don't know why. What's her GoFundMe at? It depends on which one. She has a couple. I know one of them was well over $100,000, and the other one, I want to say, was close to 200,000. I can't remember exactly, so don't quote me on that. I do know the one was over 100. I've never raped anybody. I'm a willing and eager learner. Oh, that's not right, Mr. Dax. It's awesome. That's not right, though. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. This isn't a trial. Well, yeah, you were putting him on trial yesterday, and saying you weren't was a fucking lie, and we all know it. You were up there accusing him of a crime and making him defend himself against a crime. That is not what you do in a job interview. That's what you do in a court of law. I mean, who's buying this shit? A 1.5 million cumulative, last I checked, said Kyle. Holy fuck. You know, that's the other thing. What does she have to gain? I saw so much of that. What does she have to gain? Well, let's look at it. Even if we didn't have the GoFundMe things, Anita Hill became a hero. She gets speaking engagements. I believe there's a book. Like, did Anita Hill write a book? I'm almost positive she did. It's making a charge like this. There is benefits. There is benefits. There are benefits to it. Anita Hill. God damn! I wish I could use Google like a normal person. There we go. Anita Hill book. Yeah, let's see. Oh, she has a few books. So yeah, there are advantages, and now you have the whole donations through GoFundMe. There's a lot of money to be made from this, and I didn't hear anybody, and maybe they tried, but I didn't hear anybody quote Clarence Thomas on this. But I did see quotes from Anita Hill about what's going on right now. Anytime there's a sexual harassment thing in the news, she gets pulled out. What do you think about this? And if Ford stops Kavanaugh's nomination, she will be a god to these people. And Anita Hill is a saint, but she will be a fucking god if she can stop Kavanaugh's nomination. So stop fucking pretending that there's nothing that she's going to gain from this. the idea that she had to move. Okay, why? Why? She had to move, and she keeps having to move. Why? Because some lunatic is sent a fucking letter. Put a couple guards outside her house. She says she has guards anyway. You didn't have to move. And yeah, I have no doubt she's getting like crazy emails because there's dumb fucks on both sides. But I think they're exaggerating what she's going through. And I think as soon as this dies down, she's going to be a very, very rich woman. She lives and works in a community of like-minded TDS freaks. Yeah, we know that her politics go left. They did cite Clarence Thomas selection hearing. Yeah, they cited the hearing, but I don't remember them asking him for a quote. And I don't think he would give one anyway, because the Supreme Court justices don't do that usually. That's one of the things that came up in the Kavanaugh hearing, the regular hearing, not this last one. Several people tried to press him on different things, and Kavanaugh's like, we don't answer about political issues because that's not that's not correct for a Supreme Court judge to do. We aren't supposed to be political. Man, Renting Monkey, is she a psychologist? If so, she should know how important it is to come out with this and deal with it for herself. Yes, she is a psychologist, but I don't know if she's a very good one. John Oliver rehashed his interview with Anita Hill from last year to throw in. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, she's going to be a fucking god no matter what happens here. Because she spoke truth to power, y'all, by saying that something happened that the 4 people she named say didn't happen. That's the part that gets me. No matter what else is said, I saw somebody today pointed out that on July 1st in Brett's calendar, on July 1st, he had a party at Timmy's house with PJ and Mark Judge. And then there were several other people named, including women. But they're like, oh, this corroborates what she said. I'm like, it really doesn't, because it doesn't name Leland, who Ford says was there, or Ford. It doesn't name either of them as being at that party. And granted, you're not going to write down, oh yeah, the girl I raped is there. Well, there's no reason for him not to write down Leland. And they're digging so hard for straws. And here's the thing. The people she named say they either don't remember it or it didn't happen. That corroborates what he says, not what she said. Anyhow, I just came from my grandmother's funeral. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Or lady, I don't know which. I'm sorry to hear that. Dollface, I'm assuming it's a she. Sweetie, I'm sorry to hear that. Unless she was like my grandmother's funeral. My grandmother was a cunt, and when she died, I was like, good, she's going back to hell where she belongs. Let's see. It said work out at Tobin's and then get skis from Timmy's. Yeah, the skis was Brewskis, and they had a little thing going on. And they talked about this. He was asked about it by Cory Booker. And they act like nothing was said, and it's fucking morons. What is going on now? I don't know. I'm not watching it anymore. I'm just talking to you guys. I'm just enjoying talking for the fun of it. I enjoy a show, I really do, but sometimes there's more to say. And with this case, there's so much more to say. Renee, remember the name of the senator who was grilling Brett about a fart joke in his yearbook? Yeah, you know what? That whole line, the whole yearbook line was funny as hell, because that's where that's where the fuck came from, and that's where the Brewskis came from, and he answered the Devil's Triangle thing. It was, he's like, I'm happy to talk about anything in my yearbook. It was funny. I say, being a woman, our gender is the most deviant, vengeful, lying predator on earth. You know, I don't mean to be rude here. Men may be the most likely to be serial killers and the most likely to shoot up a school, but when it comes to deviousness, women are fucking horrible. There was that thing from a while back, and the truthfulness of it, I don't know, but it was so believable because it was a woman where some guy supposedly cheated on her when he was overseas. So she sent him cookies and a video, and she blew one of his friends and spit his spooge into the cookie mix that the guys over there were eating. Um, women are horrible. You ever watch the show Snapped? Women are fucking horrible. Yeah, nothing for you here. Men might break your face, but women will break your soul and laugh about it. Tell their friends about it. Yeah, they're fucking horrible. Let's see. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to suggest that Dr. Ford is being vengeful, but I did. There was the lady who came out to support Dr. Ford's story. And it's somebody who, in the letter that she sent to whatever news source it was, says she never went to, she didn't know Dr. Ford, but she believed her because there were rumors around school the next day, over the next few days, which immediately disqualified her story because this supposedly happened over the summer. But this woman obviously had a grudge against Mark Judge because he stood her up for the junior prom. Is Lady Monkey horrible? Lady Monkey is a sweetheart to everyone but me. And she can be hurtful. She's not mean to me, but she's I mean, it's always in joking. It's always joking stuff, but she knows how to hit me where it hurts. I've even heard some women that twist nipples. Yeah, bitches. She can't hear me, can she? Oh, that's right. She's at work. She's not listening. Believe women, but no, don't believe women. Believe evidence, and that is a thing that is coming up right now. I think Paul Joseph Watson was the first one I saw say it. But yeah, that's what it is. Don't believe women, believe evidence. Period. Joining a monkey rant for the first time, I'm LMAO. Thank you. I rate Bear for suggesting. Yes, thank you, Bear, for suggesting, and I hope you enjoy what you hear. I am going to be wrapping this up soon because I'm not sure I have much else to say. And I started yawning. They're supposed to be picking up a dumpster at my house. My son-in-law redid the roof on my garage, and we had to get a dumpster for that. And they're supposed to be picking it up today, but they don't know when. I called them right before I started this, and like, you guys need to come pick this fucker up. I got shit to do. I got to talk to people. I better delete this stream later. I don't delete streams. Any of the streams, even the one that I did when I did the after stream, those are all in the stream playlist, which you can find at the top of my page, and you can go watch every stream that I've done. Yeah, no, that's not true. I did a stream with SDA and Gutenberg right after the Milo thing broke, and it was decided that we should get rid of that because some of the things in there could be considered or could be taken out of context. Mr. Adam says, have a great day, everyone. You too, Adam. Admit it, you just did this stream to say you did something today. No, I did this because I was asked if I was going to, and I saw the thing coming up, and I still had a lot I wanted to say about this case because seriously, guys, this listen and believe stuff needs to stop. It just has to. In this case, all of the evidence that we have is on his side. It is. Period. Something may have happened to her. He may have done this, but all of the evidence is on his side. Period. Don't believe women, believe evidence. And the evidence says he didn't do this. So Sorry, woman. Why wasn't Elizabeth Warren, Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, Maxine Waters on the committee? Because they're not on these committees. When committee assignments are handed out, they go where they go. Excuse me. The word believe in the believe women narrative is especially devious. I hate it because you're listen and believe. Turn off your fucking brain. That's what they're saying. Turn off your brain. Satsu, what up? The fuck is this shit? I am I'm still ranting and raving about the shit that happened yesterday and partially about the shit that happened today. Yeah, and Pelosi is not a senator. She would be on a committee in the House. Monkey has an oral fetish for bananas. I have an oral fetish for, yeah. By the way, Satsu, they were supposed to have the vote to push this to the full Senate, and some of the Democrats walked out instead of voting because they're a bunch of little fucking bitches. They were upset because they called for a vote to have Mark Judge come testify before the committee, and they lost. So yeah, they got up and left. Fucking babies. This is how it works. I'm sorry if you don't like how it works. Get a different job. Let somebody else have that job who's actually gonna fucking do it. You fucking babies. These are grown-ass people. These are our fucking leaders throwing a fit like a child. It's annoying. Weaponized Me Too at work. Yeah, fucking pussies. You're not wrong, Satsu. Got up and left like fucking bitches. Listen and investigate. Now, yes, that is actually right. I've seen people, I think Lacey Green talk about it. She's like, well, you don't have to believe their actual story, but comfort them. And if you're their personal friend, fine. But you also should encourage them to go to the police, which is something that needs to be repeated often. But once it starts, once the investigation is there, and yes, there has been an investigation, believe the evidence. Just believe the fucking evidence. What was Cory Booker accused of from a woman? Asked Stargazer Nuts. He wasn't. What he did is I think it was back in '92. He wrote a editorial for his college paper where he told about an incident. Him and a female friend had been drinking, and he got a little. They kissed, and I can't remember. I think it was a mutual kiss, and he went for booby. He grabbed her titty, and she pushed his hand away. But then he grabbed her titty again, and he wrote about how wrong it was because he ended up losing a friend over this. By his own admission in this article, he was a sexual abuser. Now, I don't think that's sexual abuse. I think that's college kids having weird college interactions. That's not sexual assault. But if he wants to call himself a sexual abuser, I'm happy to do so with him. I think Mark Judge is either dying, dead, or hiding. There was actually a report at 7-ish last night that his lawyer again said Mark has no interest in coming before the committee. He'll happily answer any of their questions in written form. Lenug says not college. They were 15. No, he wrote it in college. Did I say they were in college? I apologize if I did. No, but he wrote it in college. No sex allowed. Yeah, that's another horrible part of this. My son is in college right now, and I worry for him. One, his whole life, girls have just congregated around him. There's a great picture from him when he was in kindergarten. He's sitting there coloring at his table, and there are 4 little girls just staring at what he at him and what he's doing. And he just has this charisma, and women flock to him. And I am so worried that he's going to have normal sexual relations with women, and then later in life somebody's going to be like, he touched my titty without asking. They should change the rules so that if you walk out, your vote defaults to yes for positive. Yeah, you know what? That would be great, Anthony. They have a job to do, and they're fucking assholes. Bunch of goddamn babies. It's not the first time they've done this, and they're not the only ones to do this, but goddamn, you fucking babies. Get in there and do it. Nut says, I have 2 in high school. It scares me too. It really does. It really does worry me that if my son acted like I did with my wife, by today's standards, it might be considered sexual assault. Last I heard, Mark Judge was sitting up somewhere reading Superman comics. Let's hope it's not the Bendis books or New 52 Superman. I I don't know what any of that means, but I'm with you. What else we got? So what's going to happen as a result of them walking out? They pushed the vote back to 130, Satsu, and we'll see what happens. I think it just holds up the vote. Oh, man. It's not a good idea to have relationships with women at college, to be honest. I won't do anything like that. Truthfully, I don't think that's limited to college. I think that it's high school and after college, in the workplace. If there's a woman there that you're attracted to, better not say nothing to her. Better not make any kind of move on her, because you'll get, if she doesn't like you back, you're fucked. The Dems are doing the walk away thing wrong. She should have just fucking, they should have just voted. So she failed at stalling them, so now they're doing it themselves. Yeah. And I'm not sure what the remedy is. I'm sure it's up on the internet somewhere by now, but I'm not sure. Jay Willie says, okay, that's true, but especially college. Yeah. I didn't go to college, so I don't know what the scene is like there, but I fucked a lot in high school, and I would not recommend doing it today. I seriously wouldn't. Hammer and Satsu, you guys want to jump in? You don't have to. I'm just offering because I love you both, and I'm interested in your thoughts on this. Women pretend like it's a problem nowadays because they know they'll get attention and money out of it. Yeah. But the sad truth is, and I've mentioned this on Lords of the Night several times, I think we are moving back to our Puritan past in a very weird way. Because it's not, the Puritan part of it was religious. It was, you can't have sex because God says don't do it. But that's not what it is now. It's don't have sex because the they can't be, their pussies are too they're too fragile for you to even think about doing it. And I'm like, women are either have to be how much longer are you going to be streaming? I don't know. It depends on how much longer I have something to talk about, Satsu. Women either have to be equal, and by equal, that means equal responsibility for whatever choices they make, including getting drunk and getting fucked. Or we need to protect them and put them in little glass jars so nothing bad ever happens to them. Hammer, how you doing, bud?
Good. How you doing, Monkey?
Not too bad. I was just talking about this. The idea that women either have to be responsible for their actions or we need to put them in glass jars.
Indeed. They are so fragile that they can't take care of anything themselves. We must take care of everything for them. That's awful.
It is. And this, if you think about, if you with the, what's her name? Deborah something charge, the one where he supposedly put his dick in her face.
Yeah.
Even if that charge is true, that to me is not sexual assault. Satsu, I sent you the link just in case. You don't have to jump on, bud, but there you go. That is a bunch of drunk ass college kids being stupid.
Oh lordy, it's a penis.
Yeah, well, her thing, I wasn't going to touch a penis until I was married.
Oh, give me a break.
You didn't have to touch his penis. You could push the. I mean, either she has really short arms or he has a really big dick, because she could have pushed him away by the hips, by the knees. She could have fucking kicked him in the nuts. There's all kinds of things she could have done not to touch that penis. Toasted Network says, I'm watching you over Ben Shapiro. I appreciate that. I do.
Wow. High marks.
Satsu, what's up?
What up, Dow?
What do you think about your leaders walking out?
Man,
bunch of goddamn babies.
that is childish as fuck. I will say, though, that what I was trying to type in the chat before I had hopped in, before you sent the invite, is people are just going to have to be very careful with who you date. Like, really do some investigative work. If you're dating a chick, figure out what her politics is, what she believes in, what type of, because I'm telling you, it's not everybody. It's not all women. It's mostly liberal and fucking, you know, these, find out what classes she's taking. Bitches taking gender studies, keep your dick in your pants.
Yep.
Well, they all have to. They all have to. It's in the, it's part of the required courses now.
Well, let me rephrase it. Find out if she's happy about taking gender studies.
See if it's her major.
Yeah. If she's enthusiastic about taking it, then find somebody else to fuck. Like, it's,
well, here's the problem though. She might be, you know, conservative now, but what if 20 years from now she's full on SJW?
I mean, political
penis, because you put it in her face.
The way political standing typically goes is you tend to become more conservative the older you get, right? Isn't that how it kind of works?
Typically, yes.
Okay.
Joseph says, "Thank God I'm gay. I don't have to deal with the risk of women." Did you guys see the video of the coach who got in trouble because he made the video that says women ruin everything?
No, I didn't see that.
I don't think gay protects you.
I don't think it does either. Not these days.
No. And now take a second and think about this. You guys used to give me shit a year ago about my former claim to MGTOW, but I hear shit coming out of both your mouth and Scribes that sounds a lot like what I used to say.
I want to say, in my defense, I've always said I understand. I understand the philosophy behind it, and more now than ever. Because I'm at the point it'd be like with my boys, it's like, don't date, don't touch pussy, man. You are
right.
Don't
look at him. Don't talk to him. Don't open a door for him. Just stay away from it at all costs, because you're going to get caught.
Well, with this Ford allegation, I mean, she literally has no evidence, none.
No,
and it's I believe her. Everybody, I believe her. And if there was a story I saw yesterday, I think I forget where it was through, but they were talking about the protests outside, and there was one bitch who was wearing a shirt that said all men suck. And she's like, well, like 25 people have taken their picture with me because they like my shirt. Like, go fuck yourself. What the? We're getting to a point where being a man is criminal. So yeah, I like I said, I've always said I understand. But now I'm like, yeah, Hammer's right.
What do you think, Satsu? Do you think I have a point? Now that
as a newly married man, Satsu, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point.
In regards to what exactly? Like specifically?
Do you think that men have a position of being always on the defensive?
Oh, of course. I mean, but then again, it's always kind of been like that, because throughout history, men have just been overprotective of women in general, but it's getting significantly worse as time goes on.
We used to be overprotective of women. Like if they were in danger, we protected them. If there was a puddle, you put your coat down so she didn't have to walk in it. Now it's like She saw a penis. Quick, kill that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. Now, I don't want to go to the boys will be boys because I don't believe that's part of it. But weird shit happening at a drunken college party, I expect that. But again, push him away. And her story just makes. She says that after this happened, somebody yelled down the hall, "Brett Kavanaugh put his penis in Maria's face." They used his whole name.
Yeah, I remember that exact detail. They said his entire name. I know that for a fact. Everything else I forgot, but
I'm surprised they didn't yell his social security number
I
at
was
the
just
same
going to
time.
say that. They didn't give his address and blood type? What?
Yeah, right. Brett Kavanaugh stuck his dick in her face. What? Who does that? Come on.
They were like Brett Kavanaugh in line to be the Supreme Court nominee in 38 years.
Yeah. And they can't find anybody to back this up. Somebody yelled his name down the hallway, and nobody remembers it, which is why this bitch went into hiding.
Oh, guys, check out this gem. This person is a kindergarten dual language teacher, right? She says, "I hope with all of my heart that all of you who support Brett Kavanaugh experience in one way or another sexual assault. I usually don't want bad things to happen to others, but this is the exception."
You know what? Quite honestly, by their description of sexual assault, I was sexually assaulted all the time in high school.
I want to be sexually assaulted. Someone give Jacqueline Glenn my number.
There you go. Yeah. I've had women grab my junk. I've had women grab my ass. And it's like, I'm not interested in you. And we just went our separate ways. I didn't, call the police because I'm a dude. And I like women wanting to fuck me.
And don't think that women don't want to be fucked,
Oh, I know, but it has to be the right guy.
Yeah.
If this was the right guy who pushed her into the bedroom, she would have gave it up.
She'd be married.
Yeah, no, she could. Oh.
If it's the wrong guy, sexual assault. If it's the right guy, then I can marry him.
All right. The other reason I brought you guys in here is because I need to step away for a minute. Y'all keep talking.
He used us.
I did.
I don't mind.
At least I admit it.
I don't mind.
All right, I'll be right back.
That's fine with me.
So it's really been killing me just like looking on Twitter. And this is a part of the reason why I don't deal with this shit really anymore. I try to talk about it less and less because it's just so infuriating. When you always see these people talking about, our enemies are monsters. They're horrible people who don't care about human beings and they're reprehensible, disgusting people. And I'm so much better than them. And you're like, well, what did they say? And it's like, well, they want to wait for evidence to find out if something's true. And I'm like, okay. And then this same person is like, well, I hope they get raped and they'll really know how this feels. And I'm like, so they're the monsters because they want evidence to find out if it's true. But you're morally superior and you want their family to be raped so they can experience the horrible thing that you're fighting against right now.
What can you do except shake your head? Because the double standard,
I just want to write bigot on a shovel and just start smacking.
You have to remember the head with it.
I really want to.
I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. I feel exactly the same way. I can hear it in your voice before you even say it. I know what you're feeling. So
because it's so fucking frustrating. And like I would never do it. I would never do these things. But like this shit makes me violently upset. Because it's just like, God damn, man. Are you doing this on purpose? I feel like you're doing this on purpose.
I just don't have my headphones on yet.
What about the girl that's in Russia who's pouring bleach on men's crotches because they're manspreading?
I heard about that. There's a lot of mixed reports coming in about that, though. A lot of people are saying that those videos are staged.
Yeah.
The Russian chick?
Yeah, but even if they are, it's still fucked up.
She insists they're not staged.
Well, of course she does, because she's trying to make a fucking scene. So if anybody else came forward and said they weren't, but she had a camera available and ready every time she has somebody, I don't know. That just seems
But the overall point of that story is that so many people were like, yeah, good for her.
Yeah, and it's incentivizing other people to go out and do radical shit like that. And I'm like, you about to get a bitch uppercutted. And
Yep.
when that happens, when that shit happens, the narrative is immediately going to shift. Like there's a wave of violence going on against women that we need to do something about.
I got in trouble on Twitter for saying that's a good reason for concealed carry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like what kind of world do we live in where you can't just go off and pour bleach on somebody and not have any consequences? Like what the fuck do you mean?
That's why this Kavanaugh thing bothers me so much. Is that I mean we're at a point where women can do anything, and we're supposed to take their side, unless they go against the narrative. Because like the Leland chick who is a friend of Kavanaugh, who says is a friend of Ford, who says she's never been at a party with Kavanaugh that she remembers. Nobody's standing up with her.
Yeah. Nobody's saying she's credible. Nobody's saying we need to believe her and listen to her story. They just brush that bitch to the side. She's like, oh, you're not useful? Yeah, fuck you.
Her. Yeah,
we don't care about what you say. Believe all women, unless they say things that we don't agree with or can't use.
Like those 65 women who signed a petition saying how great Kavanaugh
dude,
was.
They immediately criticized and brushed off all 65 of them women and said, fuck that shit. Oh, how convenient.
I told Lady Monkey that I was streaming like this, and she goes, do you have your Streamlabs up? Like, no, sorry. I came on because I had shit to bitch about, not because I wanted to make money. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love money, but I just wanted to bitch. Because that's what Monkey does.
And that is another thing that really I was talking to Scribe about this yesterday. My kind of lack of motivation to cover these topics anymore because of the fact that it seems when you're the only person who seems to be sincerely interested or actually care about the topic, you start to feel stupid. Especially when you're looking at both sides and neither side seems to be interested at all. Like they have their own little agenda or whatever. And you know that literally tomorrow when this becomes not useful to them, nobody will be talking about it anymore. But you're still sitting there like, I still care about this though. Like this is still an issue. And they're like, yeah, but it's not useful anymore. So it just makes me feel fucking stupid. Like, why am I getting all riled up for this shit that none of these people actually give a fuck about?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. Hammer, do you have a thought on that?
I know the feeling of frustration. I feel the same way. Nobody seems to care about the people who are looking at this reasonably.
See, and I disagree with that, and for a couple of reasons. One, the comments to my videos. I no matter what I talk about, it's constantly thank you for this. I agree with what you just said. I'm of the position that you're right. You're right. So many people. This story, a month from now, nobody's gonna give a fuck about it. It's gonna go away, and we'll be on to whatever's next. But I do think the underlying bullshit is important. And using these cases to point it out is important.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not particularly saying that not talking about it.
No, I get your frustration though. I do.
Yeah. It's just and not the people, because I know the people who are like me, like-minded people who are genuinely, I'm talking about the people who matter, the people who are raising the issues, the people who are at the forefronts of all these movements, the people who are doing the biggest grandstanding are the ones who give the least amount of fucks. And then you back that person and you support that person and you make videos to defend that person. And then tomorrow it's gone. Like it's like that's over with. That ship has sailed. And you're just like, but what the fuck? Like
no, you're not wrong. And that's why I try to take positions, not support people. Like this thing right here, the reason I'm doing a live stream instead of a video on it is because I know this is going away. And if somebody finds this, whatever video I would make a year from now, it's not going to have any meaning.
All right.
But the underlying, that's why the video I want to make, the one that I'm planning on making, is the one telling men to stop being such goddamn pussies when it comes to women, because that is an eternal thing. Men, it's part of the hashtag the power of no. Men need to stop. Patton Oswalt with his fucking believe women shirt. No, somebody needs to smack him on the face with a newspaper and tell him, no, you believe evidence, not women, not men, not white, black, Chinese. No, you don't believe anyone based on such an arbitrary characteristic. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and these dudes are willingly signing their own death warrants essentially because they're just like at any moment. And I get like when we were talking about this before, I was trying to find a way to articulate this because we were saying like, why would these men be pushing this narrative when they know that at any moment it could be like a woman can just be like, he raped me, and that's it. Your life is over instantly. And I think what it is the desperation behind the fact that a lot of these people think that this is inevitable. They're like, this is going to happen. This is happening. It's in full effect. The Me Too movement is rolling down the hill and this ball is getting bigger. So I'd rather lessen my chances of it being me and be like, yeah, this is a good thing to do. Please don't do me next. Than to fight against it and increase my chances of somebody coming forward against
being
me.
Targeted. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a desperate thing to do. And it's really stupid. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense because our laws are still in place and things are still being investigated or whatever, because the public court is the one where this is most prominent. You know what I mean? Like in the public eye is where this shit takes place. But in a courtroom, they still seek evidence and that type of shit. So if a person lies on you, they still got to take it to court. And it's still going to have to go through the process. So.
But I disagree with you slightly. I think they don't think it'll ever come back to them.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, and that's a preventative measure. They're doing that because they're like, okay, this won't come back on me as long as I make sure that I'm an ally, that I'm being a good puppy.
What I mean is, I think they're thinking, look, I've never done this to anybody, so this is never going to happen to me.
You know what? Yeah, that could be tied to it too.
Nobody is safe from this. Look at Asia Argento.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. Nobody is safe, but I think they're too fucking. It's the same goddamn thing over and over and over and over. It's decent people who are like, I don't think women should be raped because nobody thinks women should be raped. But they're not paying attention to what's actually happening. And they are thinking, you know, hey, I've never done that. I've never raped a woman. Nobody's ever going to say that about me until it's their turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, if somebody's smart, and I know there's some of you really savvy tech nerds out there or whatever who have the capability and the attention span to do this, I would be taking notes and making archives of every prominent person right now who is directly involved in this situation, who is pushing this narrative, because it is going to flip completely when the Democrats finally do get control back, or if they ever do, and they have a president in place who is making a nominee. Somebody will inevitably try to pull this shit on the other side, and they will be completely on the opposite side. And that is your moment to fame. That is the moment where you come out with this archive full of shit. Like, nope.
But no, see, I was alive during the Clinton hearings, man. I was alive for Clinton, and you know what'll happen? They'll be completely discredited. Because as much as people want to be, you know, fair, because like I do try to be fair, like in the Keith Ellington thing. I do not think evidence is out there right now that shows he did what he's been accused of. However, it is impossible to ignore that the vast majority of this fucking nonsense is coming from liberals, from the left. And they need fucking stop. We need the newspapers. Just the newspapers.
I think the left should keep doing exactly what they're doing. Because all they're doing is guaranteeing that they're going to lose. Every step, everything they've done to this point has been nothing but one loss after another. It started with Trump. Now it's going to be Kavanaugh. And if they keep going, they're just going to keep losing and keep losing and keep losing. I don't see the left recovering from this unless they drastically change their extremist point of view.
Oh, yeah.
I think if Kavanaugh is confirmed, they will use this to take over the Senate. And I think they might do it. Polls are showing that right now, this is the biggest issue on voters' minds, which is fucking stupid. Let me rephrase that. It is very important who goes to the Supreme Court, because that is going to affect us probably for at least the next 20 years. But they're more worried about this whole fucking sexual assault thing than they are what he might do on the court. But I think this will be enough to rally crazies to take over the Senate in the election coming up in November. Right now, they have no chance of taking it, because I think there's only 6 Republican seats up, and most of them are pretty safe. So yeah, we'll see. Yes, everyone vote. Everyone vote. The one thing I will say, Hammer, is maybe it will rally the Republicans to actually vote. The party holding the White House tends not to vote in the midterms.
Monkey, did you see Stacey Gardner's message? I think she asked that last night.
I didn't. Where's that at? Ranting Monkey. Did you know Alyssa Milano was at the hearing? Oh yeah. She was sitting right behind Kavanaugh on the right. And most of the time she had that little pussed face going, like she was mad as fuck. Like nobody's touched her pussy in years. She needs to sit down and rub that out, because she is one angry woman.
Oh boy. This whole thing has just been exhausting. Like I said, I get information from you guys, and because I know you are actually genuine. It is interesting listening to you guys talk about it, because you're bringing your actual opinions into it, and you actually care about it. But when it comes to like looking into the thing, like actually watching the hearing and stuff, I'm like, nobody there gives a fuck about this situation. Like, not one person there is actually, other than Kavanaugh, probably because his life is at stake. I can't see anybody else in that room who really gives a shit about what's actually going on in regards to her and what happened to her in the past, and whether or not it's real or not. Nobody gives a fuck. They're just like, I don't care if it's real or not. I know this is a useful tool to use, and I'm going to try to use it. And everybody else is like, on the other side, it's like, oh, that's fucked up. You shouldn't try to use that because it hurts us in some way. But it's just nobody really seems to actually give a fuck. So I'm just like, it's like watching the fucking sitcom, but it's actually happening. And it
that's why I liked Lindsey Graham's explosion. I don't think there's a better way to put that.
Yeah.
And why I said
emotional response. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Yes, exactly. What he said up there was genuine. And like he pointed out, he said, tell Hagen and Sotomayor, I said hi because I voted for them. It's okay to get up there and question them and not like their things, but unless you have a genuine reason to think they're not going to be a good justice, you should vote for them, because that's how the fucking process works. But his outbursts, I loved his outbursts, but the ones afterwards, most of them at least, seemed so fucking fake. They almost seemed like, oh shit, he's going to get the news clips, and I wanted those. And so yeah, I agree with you, Satsu, that most of the people in that room don't give a fuck about whether or not this really happened.
Yeah,
and that's sad.
It's annoying, and a lot of people are using the fact that Kavanaugh was angry. Like I've been seeing posts all day saying like, you guys are you guys are getting a picture of what drunk Kavanaugh looked like back then, and how his anger probably erupted. And this is very validating, seeing him get upset that somebody's trying to ruin his life and destroy his family by lying on him, or by saying something that has no evidence at the very least. Nobody should be upset by that. And the fact that he is validating.
You guys really, you missed this earlier, Satsu, and I don't know if you heard it, Hammer. I am shocked that he didn't drop F-bombs. Him and Lindsey
I
Graham.
heard that. I was listening.
Because if it was me, I'd be like, fuck, that bitch is fucking lying.
Yep.
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah. And that's why they're politicians, because they can get angry without using the F-bomb.
Yeah. Nothing for you here. He says, for a guy who can't stand politics, you have an excellent grasp on it. Neither of these groups of dorks know or cares about what they're doing. 10 out of 10. But I think that's part of the reason why I can't care about it, because I can't get invested in something that somebody else, like, I can't. If a person is standing at the forefront of a group and they're standing above everybody else and they're rallying to do something, and I know that they don't really give a fuck about what's going on, I'm gonna just be like, man, shut the fuck up. Just walk off, because I'm just like, you don't give a shit about this. And you got all these people who actually do sitting here following you. This is a waste of my fucking time.
For me, there's two different things going on. I love politics as a game. And yesterday, that's what this was. This was politics as a game.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. But there's also the part of me that has my values and my morals and my deep desire to try to get people. I argued with so many people yesterday who could not tell me why they supported Ford, other than she made a claim. I'm like, okay, but what evidence is there? And the evidence is all against her. And so many people, well, what the judge is his friend. I'm like, okay, her friend said it didn't happen, or that she doesn't remember it happening.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
like, oh, fuck off.
It's
Fuck
ridiculous. Off. Like, I don't know. They'll openly ignore things that validate the things that they push forward daily. Like, listen to women. 65 women signed the paper. Oh, well, not those women.
Not those women.
Yeah, sorry. I meant all women that agree with me. Sorry.
Well,
should have clarified. My bad.
You know the funny thing about that 65 women? Those are 65 women that know Brett Kavanaugh. Mm-hmm. And instead of paying attention to that, they paid attention to a letter from 200 alumni of the school that Ford went to over a period of 20 years. Most of whom, literally the vast majority of whom, have never met Ford. Did not go to school with her at the same time. Right. That's the letter that they thought was that they got all the news. Somebody asked how long I plan on going. Guys, I did not plan to even do this, so I don't know until I get bored.
Well, I'm scrolling through Twitter as I usually do in the morning, because a little morning torture is always good for you.
Oh, morning Twitter is the best.
And
better than that is a morning blowjob.
So, no context at all. What do you guys think of this headline? This is BBC World Service, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a feminist. You're pregnant. It's a boy. What's next?
I saw that.
Oh, dear God.
I saw that. It was a picture of a little boy hugging a pregnant woman. I saw that picture.
And one of the comments on here is like, well, the answer is clearly murder. I mean,
yeah, no shit.
You were looking for, right?
You got to throw him in a lake somewhere, or make sure you teach him not to be a rapist.
But that's been a story in the past where women have had male babies and have aborted them because they're male.
Yeah. And I mean, that is a stupid fucking reason for an abortion. I don't care if people don't like that or not.
Well, somebody brought up the 5,000K that was raised on GoFundMe, and they put it next to the picture. What did she have to gain by doing this? Like $500,000, maybe?
Yeah, no shit.
$500,000, countless book deals from here on out, constant praise from people who think that she's telling the truth, even though she has zero evidence. Her life has been maybe uprooted from what she was doing then, but it's about to catapult into something crazy soon after this is done. This is just step one. She's like, all I got to do is get through this shit, and it's easy street. So
I don't know if you guys were watching the confirmation hearings. Jeff Flake got he was in an elevator and people wouldn't let him go to whatever floor he wanted. They were giving him shit. And somebody tweeted out, it's going to get violent before Tuesday. And somebody else tweeted as a response to that, when you've never had your white male privilege threatened before, you think simply being confronted about it is a prelude to violence. No, I think people thinking it's okay to be violent against people you disagree with is a prelude to violence.
Exactly.
Hello.
Are you fucking? Oh God, I can't take it.
Isn't Flake the one person who was questionable about whether he was going to vote for Kavanaugh?
He's come out and said he is.
He said he is, but
Well,
wasn't there a point in time where it was a question of whether he would or not? So why would they give him shit?
Well,
Right.
because
he's the guy they want to win over.
But he said he's going to.
Yeah, he did eventually.
Well, yeah, here's the CNN thing. Women confront Senator Jeff Flake after he says he'll vote yes for Kavanaugh. Quote, that's what you're telling all women in America, that they don't matter. They should just keep it to themselves, because if they told the truth, you're just going to help the man to power anyway.
She had no evidence.
Doesn't matter.
Even worse than that, she provided bad evidence. It wasn't just bad enough that she didn't have any evidence, but the evidence that she did supply was wrong, because she said, these 4 people will back me up, and those 4 people did not back her up.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's worse than no evidence. It's bad evidence.
Her evidence backed him up.
Yeah.
Scribe just tweeted out a picture. Patton Oswalt, somebody changed his Believe Reason shirt to, Believe Women to Abandon Reason. Because that's what you're doing. Oh, God.
Yeah. Failure's got it right. It said she provided evidence that's a direct contradiction.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I kept asking people on Twitter yesterday. And I've mentioned this a few times, but for those people who have just joined us, I asked on Twitter, for those people who support Ford, what corroborating evidence is there? You know how many serious answers I got? 0. And Sam Harris, a man known for, logic over all else, who is on her side. I tweeted directly to him on one of his fucking retarded tweets. Sam, nobody else will answer this. Maybe you will. What corroborating evidence is there? And nothing. Nothing. Nobody will answer that question because it can't be fucking answered. She has none. Oh,
requiring evidence is evidence of the patriarchy.
But if we had an FBI investigation, we could find out when Mark Judge worked at Safeway, and that would prove everything. Like you guys are fucking morons. You really are. And these are our leaders, man. Sam Harris is not known for logic. He's a fundamentalist as any Pentecostal. Okay. Who wants to be known? Is that better? Is that better? Even Sam Harris, I'm saying, yeah, even Sam Harris is on this fucking woman's side with no evidence. Sorry, no, you're absolutely. I need to start saying that, Hammer, with bad evidence.
Exactly.
We're not here to educate you. Educate yourself. Everyone without evidence. Yeah, Jack, that's what it is. And because if you ask these people, one guy I was arguing with, literally everything I said. What's your source? I'm like, do you even know what the fuck we're talking about here? Let's see. He went up against Jordan Peterson and completely melted down. He keeps his blinders on. Yeah. Well, like I said, maybe wanting to be known is a better way to say it. Oh, man.
The crazy part is, though, like anybody involved in this or anybody who seems to be the opposition, if provided sufficient evidence, would just be like, oh, we'll take his ass to jail. But they don't have it. And that's what they've literally been saying this whole time. It's just like, bring some proper evidence so we can, actually be like, yeah, is this a thing? But they're like, no, you just hate women and you think that they're all lying about it. It's like, no, Bill Cosby's going to jail and ain't nobody mad. Like, nobody's upset. Bill Cosby Tariq is a fucking.
I can't believe he got his star back or his check mark. Jeez.
Why do we need evidence? Didn't you know that we must not let a Republican nowadays because they don't support the demoralization of America? Failure. There's a lot of stuff. There really is going on a lot of stuff going on with this nomination. Part of it is they have it in their heads that if he's nominated or if he's confirmed, literally the next day they're going to have a vote that's going to get rid of Roe, which is not how the Supreme Court works. But I really do think Trump did this as a fuck you to the Democrats, specifically to Hillary Clinton. She lost, and he nominated. The smart choice in this nomination would have been the woman, the redhead, and I forget her name. Sorry, because they can't come at her with the sexual harassment charges. Instead, he nominated somebody who was part of the Starr investigation, which I think that was a fuck you to Hillary Clinton, and I think a lot of people on the committee know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just be glad when this shit is over with, because
this is fun. This is fun, dude.
It's exasperating. I think that's how Satsu and I feel.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, truth be told, like I said, I don't really care about it. I'm just tired of hearing about it.
I get that.
I'm tired of all the fucking theatrics and the people who are just like, this is deeply a thing that I truly personally care about, and this is about the sanctity of women and blah blah blah. And then tomorrow they're just gonna be like, what happened? What was that? Yeah, I forgot about that. Why are you bringing up old shit?
I think this one could be because we're coming into October, aren't we? What day is this?
Yeah, it's the
28th.
28th. Yeah.
This might get, if he's confirmed, the Democrats might be able to stretch it out until the election, and then it'll go away. It's going away. It won't be. I get that, but I think Kavanaugh would. I haven't even talked about this part. I think Kavanaugh would be a good judge. He's known as a textualist, which is somebody who goes by what the text of the law says.
Yeah, but
which is a good thing.
Well, yeah, but I was about to say, if you think about it, that's another reason why they like, regardless of the fact that they think that he might dismantle women's rights immediately the moment he goes in. The fact that he follows the actual law and is not appealed by emotion is a problem, because they need somebody who is. Like, we need somebody who's emotionally driven, who doesn't care about the law and only cares about, tears and sob stories. So that way we can manipulate them.
Irate Bear says, why was this not in my sub feed? I don't know, dude. We've had lots of people come by and check it out. I don't know why yours wasn't. Do you have the bell rung? Fucking YouTube. Not only do you have to subscribe, you need to hit that bell. And tomorrow you'll have to. I don't know. Why do you need to hit the bell if you're subscribed? That is.
I hear that hitting the bell ain't even enough. Like, there's something else you have to do. You have to go in, and there's like a setting that's specifically for that person that says, notify me whenever this person uploads. Like,
yeah, when you click on the bell, that's what it asks you. It brings up a little box that says, notify me all the time, notify me some of the time. Like, don't you want people to watch content, you dumb motherfuckers?
YouTube says that the reason they did that is because some people were getting so many spam messages about all of their content creators that it was overwhelming them. That's what YouTube said was the reason. I think it's bullshit, but that's what they said. That came from Philly D.
Yeah, but they have no problem sending Jake Paul to people who weren't even fucking subscribed to him.
Yep. I got somebody on my sub list yesterday that I'm not even subscribed to.
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
It's about YouTube being fucking morons. Sorry, YouTube, if you're listening, go fuck yourselves. Stop fucking up the platform. Oh man, I've been at this. I seriously had no plan to do this. And somebody mentioned it on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, why not? I still have shit to say. So, been saying it. How long have I been talking now, guys?
Over an hour. It was like 10:30 you started?
Yeah, something like that. Well, I think wasn't it closer to 9 or to 10 itself? I don't know.
I've been up since 7:30, but I didn't even actually see you on my sub list. I got a notification that came up that said that you were broadcasting. It's like, oh, Monkey's online. Let me go listen. I didn't even get into my sub list. It was just a notification on my phone that came up.
Yeah, and I'm streaming here in like 4 hours with Polly, and then we got the stream
Sorry to
tonight.
hear that.
We have the stream tonight on my channel because Scribbles has shit to do.
What's the Polystream about? Promo.
Oh, we're going to be talking about the problems with colleges. There's the article that came out, and somebody made a video about it, about the guys who made a mathematical formula to explain why men tend to be on the low end and the high end of the
Bell curve.
Yeah. Basically, for those of you who don't know, men do tend to be the smartest and the dumbest. It's true. We are. Women don't tend to have as big of a discrepancy like we do. And these guys figured out this mathematical formula for it, and they submitted their paper to a magazine, to a journal, who said, sure, we'll take that. And after some feminist mathies whined about it, they weren't allowed to do that anymore. The one guy had to drop out because he still needs his career. And then a whole nother magazine picked it up. And it was actually published online, and it disappeared, completely disappeared.
Yeah.
This wasn't a case of somebody came in and argued against what they said, so it was discredited. They just took it offline completely. It was fucking that is not how academics should work. But yeah, so we're going to be discussing things like that, and we've talked several times about talking. We've talked several times about talking. Yeah, that's actually a correct statement. We've talked several times about talking about the problems on colleges, and we finally made a date to actually discuss it. They will soon begin adjusting results to appease the feminine. Yeah, you're not wrong, Jack. Well, they want to add fucking A to STEM. They want to make it STEAM and add art.
Oh God. That's the opposite of the whole point
And
of
yes,
STEM. STEM is supposed to be stuff that's not art.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the hard sciences. STEM is shit. I forgot the S.
Science.
Science, technology, engineering, and math. And they want to add art to that because women's aren't represented enough in STEM. Well, that's not how you get them represented enough. And maybe they don't deserve representing because they're not doing STEM. And I'm saying this as somebody, I'm the father of a child, a daughter who went through STEM in college. And yeah, guys, Bear will be co-hosting Lords of the Night tonight because Scribbles won't be there. He's going to come help us out, keep us talking. Satsu.
Yes.
How you doing, bud?
Looking at Bowsette pictures on Twitter.
Oh, that Bowsette thing is getting annoying.
Oh, this black girl did a cosplay of it, and Jesus.
Was that?
Can't they just put their titties out regular?
Is it Jennifer Negri? Is that her name?
Who
Who does what kind of cosplay? She did a Bowsette cosplay.
With Bear is her name, I think.
Nothing for you here says, how do you suddenly change art into a science? Feminism. There's no other answer to that.
Crazy with this damn meme. I didn't think it was gonna go that far, but people are really like they're going balls to the wall with Bowsette here.
It's Jessica Negri. I'll put a link to the picture in chat.
Answering the question of how do you change art into a science, Jack says through the vag magic of feminism. Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer, drop your link in chat too.
No.
Or a link that is where they can find you and follow you, because I Satsu's in mind because I do it for all of them, but I don't have a link for you right now.
I
I said black girl, by the way.
I don't really do anything on YouTube anymore, so I'm just at the 1 Ton Hammer on YouTube on Twitter.
Oh, there you go, guys. You can follow me at the 1 Ton Hammer on Twitter.
Yeah, or you can hit me up on the Minions.
And if you want to follow me, you can follow me into the depths of hell.
Dude, all your shit is in my links. Stop it. It's in the description. Always. It's even in my video descriptions. Well, I don't think I did it in the last one, but the one before, it's in there. After seeing that picture, I am firmly behind Bowsette. Okay, now I gotta go.
Well, hold on, because he showed you the wrong fucking one, so I got to show you the actual one. And I was.
Well, show us another one.
Because he fucking. Oh. I'm like, yeah, this black chick did it, and he's like, oh yeah, the white girl.
Like, here's a honky. You know, she's got a little butt on her. Let's see the black girl because I like butt.
All right, hold on. Let me find her again.
Don't follow me. My stalker doesn't like competition. You know what, Jack? I found out my stalker's cheating on me with Magog. I was like, motherfucker. Oh, you can have her. Put in chat, share. Yeah, exactly. Come on, Satsu. Let us all see.
Okay, hold on.
We came here for the Kavanaugh vote, and we're here, and now we're seeing Bowsette ass.
Well, I had clicked off of it.
Gotta have priorities, you know.
Go to your history.
The only reason I did Jessica Negri is because she's kind of a well-known cosplayer. I mean, if you just like do a search on Google for cosplay, you'll probably get a picture of Jessica Negri up.
Okay, hold on, guys. I found it. Good Lord.
Good Lord. Let's see it.
All right, copy link. Here we go.
Oh, man. I've been talking for a long time. I've gone through 2 sodas. Damn.
Isn't she a short person?
Yeah.
Like, isn't she a little person?
I know she's really short. I don't know if she's like a
monkey's gotta love that.
I need a minute, guys.
I think she's a little person. I mean, like
I'm
3'2" kind of.
What, man? She's got some serious fangs. Are those real?
No,
I don't think
cosplay.
Okay.
Jack said not aging enough for my taste. You know what? I can understand that sentiment, but still.
Oh, come on. You would hit that. Don't lie.
Oh, of course, but still.
Come on, Jack. Damn. That is nice.
She's pretty too. She's pretty faced.
Yeah, she's really pretty.
As well as everything else.
Well, her Twitter page in general is literally like for the past 5 days is exclusively Bowsette shit.
Oh yeah, that one she's more covered. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No. Less coverage.
I'm only looking at this for research, guys, so I can talk about Bowsette intelligently.
So he says,
I can't be. Oh god damn. Yeah, she's pretty. Okay. Turning that off. Under 4'9", you're considered a little person. I hate the term little person. I really do. I hate that term.
What, dwarf better? Midget? What's the word?
I prefer midget, but I'm not one. So here's why I hate the term little person. If you have to remind people that you are a person every time you describe yourself, that shows a serious lack of self-confidence. Little person is stupid. There's nothing wrong with dwarf. There's nothing wrong with midget. Other than people decided there was something wrong with them. Fuck off. Yeah, dwarf is a specific condition. That is true.
Which, shockingly enough, wasn't midgets.
No. Midgets at the time, I don't fucking care. But it's the same thing that happens all over. People getting offended for other people.
Yeah.
You can be a quote unquote little person without having dwarfism.
True. Yeah. Dwarfism is a specific condition.
Maybe that's why they object.
Well, what's wrong with being called midget then?
I don't see any problem with midget at all, but I'm not one. So.
Oh, I love midgets. Oh, sorry. Wrong thing. I do like a midget though, man.
I still post midget stuff on your
and I appreciate that.
Every once in a while just to.
People are like, you never go on your Discord. Like, yes, I do. I've seen the porn.
Can we I seen Roaming Millennial comment on she said getting mad when someone accuses you of rape is what rapists do. Apparently she was quoting that, And she said, boy, there sure are some toasty takes coming out on this hearing. I'm wondering, what is the proper response to having your life ruined and people literally lying on you and accusing you of being a rapist of all things? Like, what is the proper
middle finger? Fuck you.
I told you, Satsu, the proper response they're looking for is, you're right, I'm a rapist.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted. There is nothing he could have said. No way he could have acted that wouldn't have been, oh, that's how a rapist act.
Yeah, because if he would have been like, quiet and sympathetic, they had to call him callous or careless about the situation or anything. No matter what he would have displayed there, it would have been wrong. So
yeah, and that's part of the problem here. It goes back to always believe women, always, because they can't lie, and it's fucking stupid. This shit needs to stop. I was really hoping that yesterday's there was a point where one of the senators actually said, this is McCarthy like, and brought up the senator, have you no shame? Yeah. I was like, yes. Please let that be the moment that people stop this listen and believe shit. No. I at this point, I don't think it's gonna stop. I think men are screwed.
I was expecting the Salem witch trials. I was hoping somebody would come up with that angle. You're accusing somebody and putting and we're supposed to put him, on a stake and burn them alive just because of your accusations. This is the Salem witch trial.
Yep, absolutely. Because the only answer that would have been accepted was, yes, I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else is, that's how a rapist would act.
If you're stoic and you just quote unquote take it like a man, then you're an unemotional bastard. But if you get angry, well, now you're violent. How do you win?
Yeah. Thank you, Toasted Network. Would Richard Spencer like that woman? I would imagine so. She was gorgeous. I remember in the white ethno state, you can have whatever color woman you want. Male privilege is the new witchcraft. Yeah, the comparison to the Salem witch trials is so dead on. Because even the McCarthy era doesn't really capture it. This is the Salem witch trials. You are guilty, and the only way to prove you're not is to get drowned. Admit you actually did it. Yeah, that bitch is up to over $400,000. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I know Sothane is a pretty cool dude, but sometimes he says shit on Twitter that makes me very upset.
Oh, me too.
Pretty left.
So Ann Coulter says, this is the closest thing we've ever had to Saddam's rape rooms. Bring a guy and torture him in front of his wife and children and elderly parents. The left should be proud, which is kind of a ridiculous statement. It's like over the top. And it's like, really, bitch? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Especially considering she got to choose who was there.
Right. So I'm just like, okay, that's a bit stupid.
I can see her point though.
Well, I mean, I get what she's trying to say, but she's being way more hyperbolic.
Way more dramatic.
Yeah,
sure.
And his response to that was, Riley Dennis is just the worst, huh? And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with him? Or
you know what?
First of all, he's right.
Compared to what
Justin.
Ann Coulter said, yes, Riley Dennis is the worst. That motherfucker said that this stupid bitch was braver than any Marine.
Did you see the Marine who went back at her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but there's another one that posted about a Marine who fell on a grenade. Yeah, she's more brave than this Marine who fell on a grenade to save all of his men.
Well,
did you see the one where the dude said, "You're right. Even as a Marine, I don't have the balls to lie in front of Congress."
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, yes.
Well, the reason that I brought it up is because it sounds like it was like a comparative statement, like, oh, and people are saying that Riley's bad. But look at this.
That's what he meant, sure.
Yeah, and I'm just like, but so you saying that because Ann Coulter said this, that Riley somehow is not an idiot, and people who are calling that person an idiot is wrong because Ann Coulter over there is being stupid. Like they both can't be fucking dumb at the same time.
Justin's just looking for clicks, though. That's all he ever does is he just looks for clicks. He's an opportunist.
But he also See, this is one of the things that I've discussed about this idiot before. He believes what he says. There were tons of people yesterday. Oh, this is bait, and like it's not. It's he did it at this time because the everything was going on. It would get him attention, but he honestly believes that stupid shit. Because he's a moron. He doesn't say things he doesn't believe. I don't think. I think you're right about him being an opportunist, but that doesn't mean he doesn't believe what he says when he does this stuff. Yeah, that whole Marine comment, fucking moron. Yeah, I didn't see Fane's thing. I would have mentioned that.
I like he doesn't do anything to try to hide his obvious bias towards one side over the other, which is, I don't know. I don't know So Fane. I've never personally talked to them. I think I've been in a stream with them one time or whatever, but it's just like I'm just like, man, dude, you're so blatant about it. Like I am clearly biased, just in case anybody forgot.
Toasted Network says my roommate, who that is his former classmate, says he just does stuff for attention. Again, doing stuff for attention. I do stuff for attention, but I'm not insincere.
Yeah.
I got into it with Chrisiosity over this too. So I haven't gone after Randy Feminist yet, but Chrisiosity came out with a tweet says, honestly, Kavanaugh's testimony struck me as pretty typical of an abusive person's how dare you think I would do this kind of thing.
What? Jesus fucking Christ. We can't win, literally.
How dare you think like somebody getting upset that you would question their character and put their family at risk. It's typical for them to I don't understand. Like remember when what's her face?
Sorry guys, I'll be right back.
When fucking the one that's obsessed with Bering, why did I forget her name?
Oh, Christy Winters. I'll be right back.
You remember when she was getting accused of something and she straight up jumped on a fence and was raging across the internet trying to defend her name and say that she wasn't doing? Was that typical of somebody who was guilty? Was that the same thing? Of course it wasn't. It was totally different.
Hypocrisy. It's a double standard that you and I have the problem with.
Yeah, that's the main thing that I have a problem with. Like I don't care how crazy your beliefs are or how out of off the wall or just really unorthodox or just crazy they are. If you actually believe them, then that's fine. But when you have a person who will completely go against everything they believe in at the drop of a hat, like literally from one moment to the next, like they will literally be having an argument with you right now. That argument will become inconvenient, so they'll just switch it, like in the next sentence. That shit bugs me. It fucks with me.
Yep. Be consistent. I don't mind you if you disagree with me. That's fine. You have your opinion. I have my opinion. That's all cool. But be consistent.
Yeah, consistency is important, but I guess not to way too many people.
I replied back to Chrisiosity. I said he's going to be confirmed, and she blocked me. So that was that. It's not like it takes much to be blocked by Chrisiosity, but that's what happened. So I'm surprised she even said anything about the Kavanaugh thing. I didn't think she would be involved in it, but apparently.
Crusty splinters. Y'all are stupid. I don't know. And that's my biggest thing. That's been my biggest thing for a long time. And that's what makes all this the most irritating for me is just people not being consistent. Yeah, like not knowing where people stand. And I've had people ask me on numerous occasions, like, how come you surround yourself with these people who say and seemingly do these horrible things? It's like, because I usually know what they're about. They're easy to understand. When I'm conversing with people who are like openly bigoted, I know what they're about. They're fucking bigots, and they hate this or they hate that or they're racist or whatever. I know exactly what they're about. It's you people who literally can flip on a dime, who will pretend to be your friend and then stab you in the throat in the next 5 minutes. You are the ones I'm worried about, because I don't know what the fuck you're thinking. I don't know what you're gonna do from one moment to the next, and that shit is way more concerning than some asshole who's just an outspoken asshole.
It puts you in the position that you have to keep everybody at arm's length because you never know who's going to switch on you.
Yeah.
And that's really not the way that you want to live your life, to keep everybody at arm's length. That's, you never let anybody in. What kind of life is that,
Yeah, it sucks because
Jack Cochran says consistency is a heteronormative colonialist patriarchy.
I guess
Sorry
so.
about that, guys.
I love Jack.
I don't know if you guys talked about it yet, but I do want to bring up one more thing about the whole thing, how the reaction to Kavanaugh.
Mm.
He got a lot of shit for tearing up, for getting tearful, and I've seen a few people talk about how men are told they need to express their emotions, which he clearly did in his opening statement. But when they do, they're mocked, or yeah, I saw him called all kinds of things yesterday for this. Thoughts? Is it fair to judge him because he teared up talking about his mom and dad and his upbringing, how this is affecting his family?
Mm-hmm. No, it's not.
Dare I say it's stunning and brave?
What about the anger part of it? Because this is a problem I have with women. They want us to express our emotions, except for one that we genuinely feel: anger. He didn't pound the desk. If he raised his voice, he did it quickly. He was just obviously angry about what was going on. Is anger an emotion that's legitimate to express, especially in such a way?
Absolutely. Anything that's true to yourself is valid to express.
I mean, because I saw a lot of toxic masculinity because he was angry. I don't think what he did was toxic. I think, especially expressing anger, he was very controlled.
I would have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I would have been dropping F-bombs left and right. I mean, like, fuck that bitch. That bitch is fucking lying. This shit never fucking happened. You have the fucking papers right there that tell you this didn't fucking happen. I'd
be slamming the table. That's what I'd be doing.
Oh, yeah.
I do that now. If I don't like how the game is going that I'm playing, I'm slamming the table. Can you imagine me in front of a situation like that? I mean, I'd be jumping up and down.
I occasionally use words I shouldn't when me and Satsu are playing. Jack says all masculinity is toxic. That's part of what I'm getting at there, Jack. There, and I've had people mad that I say this. There seems to be a real movement to just get rid of men, and not, I don't mean execute us all, but to turn us into women. But when he cried, oh, look at that bitch crying. I go, if you slam the table, then the table would claim sexual harassment. I honestly was surprised because one of the senators said, in that same seat where Miss Ford sat, I'm like, they're going to charge him with some sexual harassment for having his ass where hers was.
Right. Jill Filipovic or whatever says, divorce your Republican husbands.
Oh, fuck off.
Why would Republican wives want to divorce their Republican husbands?
Yeah, because that's most likely the case. But there's no way a woman is a Republican, of course. That's just not. No, they don't exist. They're not actually real.
Toasted Network says, has Monkey ever said the N-word, Satsu? Not in anger over the game. I may have dropped a different F word once or twice.
No, he's never said it during our gaming streams, but he said it plenty of times during Lords of the Night. But just in context of whatever we were talking about.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of the word, people.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the word, but I assume you're asking like in the PewDiePie situation. No, that is not a word I go to in anger.
No,
I'm not afraid of the word, but I just don't see a context where I would use it.
Well, if we're talking about a story about it,
quoting somebody else,
yeah,
or even
See, quoting somebody else, I could do because I'm telling you what they said. It's not what I'm saying. It's what they said. So there's a a little bit of wiggle room there, but I can never imagine myself actually saying that word in any context except for to quote someone else.
Well, I hope you don't own a Papa John's because
Not like I haven't heard other people say it, but
well, I've said it when we're talking about it because one, I think adults saying N word and F word and S word, we know what you're saying. You're still saying it. You're still like expressing the thought.
Or like you pointed out before, when you said, this word, the word that they said, they like faggot is much worse than the N word. And it's like, but you just said the one there, and didn't say the other. So wait,
the actual quote is midget is just as bad as the N word, and this didn't come from me. I wish it did. I wish I was that smart.
The M word.
That's not true.
The M word.
You'll say one,
right?
Yeah. But I find it, if you're going to be talking about it, be adults about it and say the word. We know what you're saying. You're not fooling anybody. We know what you mean. Now, if you're saying it in anger, don't do that because then you're being a racist piece of shit. If somebody were to say that to Satsu in anger and we were standing around, I would hit him with my crippled self. And I know that's not something you're supposed to do, but that's how I react when people.
No, that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Not according to society. Violence is never right unless you're hitting a. Oh, that's right. It would be a Nazi at that point, so I could. Ooh,
there you go. You found it out.
Yeah, I remember. Do you know how many N words there actually are?
Yeah,
it's just stupid. I think you're a fucking grown adult. I kind of get it on like network TV because they have rules, but otherwise, yeah, I don't see a reason to. Monkey is Antifa confirmed. Fuck you, Bear.
Yeah,
but anyway.
I that word doesn't even cross my mind in anger. I always go to asshole. That's always my phrase. If somebody's being, even if it's a woman, it doesn't matter. Sex, race is irrelevant. Asshole is always my word.
Mine are bitch and fucker and twat. If you watch the streams, fucking twat.
Twat's kind of a cute word, though.
Is it? So many women hate that word.
Really?
Yeah.
They hate the C word. I'll say the C word.
Yeah,
but
really hate.
Oh, they hate that.
But
my girlfriend hates it.
I've always thought twat was nastier. It sounds
really
gross. Twat sounds like a disease. Oh, she got the twat.
Oh my god!
When you say it like that, it's funny.
It's dripping.
Real quick, guys, because Squishy's up and she's active now, so I think I'm a gangster slide up out of here.
You know, I think I'm going to end this anyway. I think I've been talking for so long, and I have a lot of talking to do tonight. So let's just wrap this up. Chat, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the super chats. Hammer, thank you for joining me. Satsu, thank you. I appreciate it. But guys, this one's over, and I will see you about 4-ish back here, and then at about 9 back here. Take it easy. Have a good day. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Later, bitches.